All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Market Close, folks. We've got a busy afternoon. We've got a lot of earnings to talk about. Microstrategy, Coinbase, Amazon, Apple, big tech. We got a lot of stuff to talk about in terms of what's going on with those earnings. We had a ton of macro stuff. And today is also the last day of July, which means you got a lot of last day shenanigans that are going on in the equity markets right now. It's been a rather weird day. In the morning, we opened, everything dumped. In the afternoon, or actually about 30 minutes after the dump, we pumped, and then we dumped from that pump, not to as low as we got before, but some stocks now are getting to as low as we were before and even lower because we've got madness going on. And in the face of all this madness, ladies and gentlemen, Figma has gone public and they've IPO'd at $33. Well, it looks like they left some money off the table because the stock is now $119. If they had priced this at even $100, even $95, the company would have raised an extra $2.5 billion. Let me say that again. If they had IPO'd it correctly, or at least if they had priced it even double at what they were thinking of pricing, they would have made another $1 billion. They would have had $1 billion on the balance sheet raised in one of the best markets to go public that we've had in the past 5 years. But because of the bankers and because of the underwriters, a lot of people made money on this in terms of exchange fees and underwriting fees, but Figma left a lot of money on the table. Nonetheless, 260%. If you have an allocation, congratulations. Let me know if you brought or you sold. I have one share. I have not sold it because it's one share, but this is pretty incredible. Shout out to Mr. Derek Wall for the 50 gifted. Derek, we were talking about you this morning, and I was telling everybody about your inherit versus gamble mentality when it comes to wealth creation. So thank you, Derek, for the 50 gifted. 50 of you guys just got gifted memberships, courtesy of Mr. Derek Wall. Thank you for being here. Derek is also a VC, and he's seen companies like Figma many times. These are very special companies that have, quite frankly, been the hallmark of Silicon Valley in terms of their ability to scale and grow. He's building a startup right now that uses Figma on a day-to-day basis. And so I guess if you want to pay $60 billion for a company doing less than $1 billion of revenue, okay. I guess if you want to pay $60 billion for a company that just is going public today when Adobe, their biggest competitor, is worth only $150 billion, but Adobe does about 30 times more free cash flow than them, okay. I don't really know how to explain it. Yeah, 65 sales is a bit aggressive, but as you can see, the stock continues to go higher. Folks, I forgot that my dad asked for an allocation from Figma like 3 weeks ago. He got 19 shares. He got 19 shares. He called me 30 minutes ago. He's like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, no, I'm just getting ready for my show. He was like, so I have a question. I was like, what's up? He was like, I've got this stock called Figma. I was like, oh my goodness, you got an allocation? He was like, yeah, did you? I was like, yeah, I got one share. How many shares did you get? He said, I got 19. That's when the stock was 104. I want to empower my dad versus telling him what to do because he's just getting into the capital market. So I didn't tell him to sell or hold. I just said, hey, if you sell, that's good money. You're up $1,500. And if it goes to 150, don't cry about it. But if it goes to 50 and you don't sell, also don't cry about it. And based on my dad's portfolio, he has not sold. He told me he would make his decision in the next 30 minutes. That's when Figma was at 104. He's looking at 122. So the degen in my dad is probably not going to sell this shit because he's probably like, wait a second, I'm making more money. I'm not selling. So there you go. Yeah, that's the question he asked me as well. He's like, so what does Figma do? It was the most toppy conversation ever. I was like, we'll talk about it later. He's like, no, but give me a little bit of it. He's like, I was like, they make design software for, he's like, all right, I don't care anymore. So, yeah, this is what's going on. I mean, this is pretty incredible, dude. This is pretty incredible. We got a lot of earnings after the bell, a lot of stuff to talk about. Apple, obviously 208. That's tanking a little bit as we get into the close. It was at 215, now at 208. Amazon 234. That's up a little bit. Those are going to be the main companies. MicroStrategy is going to have a massive EPS beat because of the new fair accounting rules when it comes to FASB and how earnings and profits on unrealized gains are recognized on the balance sheet, which has changed for many companies. It changed for Marathon, which is why their EPS beat by like 1,000%. Saylor said this will be the most important earnings in their history, so we're going to see how the market reacts to that. We also have Coinbase, Roku. I mean, we got a lot of companies after the bell in terms of seeing what's going to play out. Reddit as well. Yes, exactly. Tons and tons of names, so we'll be going through all that. In about 45 minutes, Steve will join. We're not going to listen to any calls. Let me say it again. We're not going to listen to any calls because honestly, Amazon and Apple calls are boring. If you guys want to listen to those calls, you can just Google them or YouTube them and you'll find the audio stream. But we'll have Steve on and try to get some market analysis at 4:45 after we get through the market madness of what's going on. Now, in terms of the broader stock market, NVIDIA down 1% on the day. S&P, look at that. They're going to take her down on the last day of July. They're not going to let her get a 3.4% month. Wow, it hit 641 at one point. I didn't even see that. Did you guys see? I didn't even see it hit 641 at one point this morning. Now it's at 631. ARM, nasty earnings down 13%. Google cannot get any sympathy from Meta or Microsoft. That's down 3%. Meta holding 11%, which in this market, you've got to give it credit because it's the last day of the month and we saw a lot of algos go crazy this morning. I mean, it was an intraday bottom at the exact same time on every stock before they started moving higher. So I do think it was a bit more algorithmic. Meta right here, 771. Also, Meta and Microsoft took a lot of liquidity out of other stocks because people wanted to buy those names. Microsoft did have a 10% pump. Now it's a 4% pump. Microsoft just under $4 trillion in market cap. Robinhood does not deserve to be down 3%. That is stupid. Grab does not deserve to be at 490. That is also stupid, but it's the nature of the market. Broadcom's down 3%. TSM's down 0.5%. UPS is down another 2%. Boeing's down 2%. Upstart's down 2%. I mean, you're getting a lot of selling into the end of July going into the first month of, or the first day of August. And I kind of just think people are like getting ready for some seasonal weakness. I mean, I really don't have a meaningful explanation. Trump announced a trade delay with Mexico, which is good. He also announced a bunch of different tariffs. He's looking at the pharmaceutical companies. I don't think that's really tearing down the market. PCE was a bit hotter than expected, so I can understand that maybe the Fed or the broader market is worried about inflation. But after those Meta Microsoft earnings, you don't just sell off the NASDAQ. I mean, look, the NASDAQ is red, which is a bit ridiculous because Microsoft and Meta are a massive part of the NASDAQ, but the NASDAQ selling off almost down 1%. Like, a really weird price action today. I can only sum it up to algos and seasonal weakness that is, I guess, upon us as we get into the month of August, and we'll see how the market ultimately interprets it. But yeah, in the face of all of this, Figma's up 264%, which just doesn't feel healthy in my opinion. The NASDAQ's down, but Figma's up 265%. Open Door is back at 180. It's almost like people left Open Door and they're going into Figma. But we are definitely seeing some aggressive moves across the entire market. And it's annoying. It's absolutely annoying. I mean, there's no way you can, there's no ifs and buts about it. It's stupid to see some of these names sell off after phenomenal earnings, but it is what it is. And that's kind of how the market operates. And hopefully if we get through this seasonal weakness in August and September, then we can move forward. NVIDIA right here, like, why is NVIDIA down 1% after Microsoft said they're going to spend another $30 billion in CapEx per year, which is going to go from 80 billion to 120 billion? Like, why? I can't tell you that. I can't give you a reason, but it's taken down the S&P and the NASDAQ with it as well. And so it's just one of those days. Now, granted, yes, this is definitely not a pullback. This is you can't even call this a dip or a correction. This is just a little bit of weakness, I guess. A real dip, you would see, S&P down about 4 or 5%, and that would be closer to that 6,000 range, which I think would get bought up, but nonetheless, it's always painful when some of that stuff happens. So that's what we got going on. We got about 6 minutes until the market closes. Who bought Figma and who took some profits on Figma? Let me know in the chat if anyone bought or sold. NVIDIA was at 185 yesterday, so obviously it's definitely annoying. Powell was bearish yesterday. I agree. And because of that bearishness, I think that's causing some pain in the market. But conveniently, he was bearish right before August, it is what it is. I did not sell my Figma because it's one share. And so if I sell it, I'm going to have to deal with that being banned from IPOs on Robinhood for 60 days. I don't think there's any meaningful IPOs in the next 60 days, but maybe there are. And it's only one share. But if you had a lot of shares, I could understand wanting to take some profits. And this thing, dude, it went public at 93. And it took them 3 hours. Dude, it was delayed until 2 p.m. Usually IPOs happen at 12. They spent so much time repricing it that it took them so long to ultimately gain momentum and join the public markets. APLD right here. This one's still up 30%. They had a good earnings, and that wasn't too bad. IREN, this is another data center play along with Bitcoin miner. That's up about 0.25. Let's make a list for all the earnings we have today. Let me know some tickers that I might be missing. Today's 7:31 earnings. Again, it is going to be pretty much madness after the bell. Obviously, Amazon and Apple. I'm going to do a real poll in the chat for Amazon, Apple. Which one do you guys think will pump or dump more? Or rather, which one outperforms? I bet the majority say Amazon. I'm just going to say if Amazon misses on AWS, it might be an issue because Microsoft set the bar and they can't miss. Roku, MicroStrategy. And let me know which one you're heavily loaded on going into these earnings and any strategies that people are thinking of. All right, so today is July 31st. We also have Intel today? No, we had Intel already. Oh, I'm on a different website. Oh, I'm looking at 2024. That's different. Okay, so we have Reddit, Cloudflare. That one's been mooning. Reddit's up today as well, going into it. Wow, Reddit's up 8%. Cloudflare's up another 4%. First Solar, Riot, Enovix. These are a lot of companies. We got some solar in here. We got some batteries. We've got software. Paramount, which might get kicked out of the S&P on August 7th, and that could be bullish for Robinhood or AppLovin. So that's one we got to look at as well. That one's down 6% on the day, probably on that headline on getting kicked out of the S&P 500. And then you have a couple other that I'll put up here, and we'll take a look at as well. But Coinbase, Apple, Amazon, MicroStrategy, those are the main ones. Rocket Lab doesn't have earnings today. Why are you guys saying Rocket Lab has earnings? I feel like I would know if Rocket Lab has earnings. I don't think they have earnings today. But Amazon and Apple, those are going to be the big ones. 3:57 right here. We got 3 minutes until this market opens. UNH also, this week. Okay, gotcha. UNH also, a little nasty on UNH. I mean, 248, dude. This is just ugly. Down 6%. The gap below this level on a technical perspective from what I've seen today, 229. 229. So next Thursday, Rocket Lab. Okay, cool. So next Thursday, we'll cover that. So, if it loses it, and the problem is it's week after earnings, it's week after guidance, and it's week going into August. Like Hoodie's at least holding 100. I kind of expect it to lose it if August is bad, and you just got to live with it, right? It is what it is. If August is a crappy month, I wonder how low do they let it go before people get excited to buy back in, because at some point, I think buyers step in, but we don't know. And it's almost, again, if you're kind of new to the markets, it's exactly what happened last year. We topped out around July 17th last year. This time, I guess we extended it towards the end of July. And then we did have a catalyst in August last year, was the yen carry trade, but that was a BS catalyst because it lasted like 5 hours. We might just have a general breather of a catalyst as the reason for pain. Maybe the lack of a rate cut or the lack of a feeling of a rate cut in September could be the catalyst, but I don't think it takes away anything from this bull market, given Meta and Microsoft put up those earnings. And if the market is based on earnings, the earnings that we got have been absolutely incredible. Figma, we are getting ready into the close. Where's Palantir? Palantir 158. By the way, Eliano made a great point right here. This is why doing a DPO is very friendly to retail, because the people that made money today are not Figma investors, are the underwriters of Figma. They're the ones that make so much money off these fees and off making sure the price is cheap enough so that the shares that they're selling to high net worth individuals that get to buy in, they get a really good return on. Whereas when you do a DPO, it's a bit more risky, but if it's a solid company, you actually get realistic prices versus nonsense that goes up 3x in a day. Because obviously the bankers suck at pricing an IPO if the IPO was not able to, if the IPO went up 3x, right? Like if there's that much demand, then supply and demand says you had way less supply for the demand, which means you messed up in pricing it. But nonetheless, Figma right here is going to close out the day. We got about 30 seconds left until the market close, up 256%. Absolutely incredible. And then we're going to see what we got on earnings. 90% of you say Amazon outperforms Apple today. Huh. All right. Let's see. I mean, obviously, I agree with you guys because I think Apple has some issues and Amazon is much better, but Amazon's just got to make sure they hit their numbers as well. Last time they tanked like 3%, or it was almost 7% before they recovered because they missed on AWS by 0.2%. The street wanted 17.6. They came in at 17.4. Eventually, they recovered, but the point is these numbers are very important, especially given the multiples that we're trading at in the broader market. All right, folks, here we go. Thursday, July 31st, 4 p.m. It is going to be a wild after hours. Thank you, everybody, for being here. The stock market is now closed. Figma closes up 256%. 256%. MasterCard was in the morning. So that's not after the bell. There you go. Figma, 256% on the day. Open Door, down 11%. United Health, down 6%. Robinhood, down 2.8%. Palantir, basically flat. Grab, down 7.5%. Microsoft, up 4%. Coinbase, we got earnings in a little bit. We'll look at that. Microstrategy is up a little bit on the day, 1.7%. Apple, down 1% on the day. Nvidia up a little bit after hours, but also down 1%. SoFi, actually not a bad day. It almost was at 24, ended at 22.58. I think if you're a shareholder after that dilution, that's not too bad. S&P 500 ended 0.4%. The S&P to end out the month of July. Let me see it right here on July 1st. Let's do the math real quick. We got, folks, a July with a 2.4% gain on the S&P. A 2.4% gain on the S&P. So average July is 1.28%. We got about 2.4 this July. Average over the last decade was 1.28%. July 2025, 2.4% month to date on the S&P. All right, let's look at earnings. We should be getting numbers soon. Amazon is green. Amazon is green. You've got a green candle, and now that green candle is kind of flaky, but it's also not as flaky. We got to 239.99. Now it's back to 236. I will try to get the numbers as soon as I can. Amazon tends to be pretty quick. AWS obviously is the big thing the street cares about on that one. So we're going to take a look on what it is. Oh, we got it. All right, Amazon. Wow. Beat by 27%. Now Amazon going red. EPS 168 versus 132. They beat by 27%. Revenue 167 versus 162. They beat by 3%. They beat by $5 billion on revenue. They beat by about 30 cents on EPS. That's a hell of an EPS beat. For a company of Amazon size, 27% is no joke. EPS up 33% year over year. Revenues up 13% year over year. The street doesn't like it for some reason. Maybe this candle reverses, but it goes from green to red, down about 2%. Green to red, down about 2%. Roku's up 3%. Apple, we have nothing. Coinbase is flat. Everything else is flat. But Amazon is down 1%. I will try to get some more numbers on what's going on. That's a hell of an EPS beat, dude. That's a 30% beat. That's not a joke. That's not something you just shrug off. I mean, that is a big one. Let's see if we can get a little bit of coverage on Amazon. And then we'll keep going from there. I'll try to get AWS as well.
I'm saying stocks lost steam into the close, weighed down by broad-based selling and really just rotation out of mega cap tech. Microsoft was a big focus. Despite strong Azure growth and a bullish AI commentary, shares really gave back earlier gains and closed pretty much on, well, up about 3.9. I saw unchanged, but up 4%. That's partly a function of high expectations and stretch valuation. The reason for that is the shares are actually trading.
Hi, Mac. Hey there, Morgan. Amazon shares moving lower about 0.75% despite a beat on both the top and bottom line. You've got EPS coming in at $1.68 versus $1.33. Revenue also a beat at $167.7 billion versus $162.09 billion. Cloud, AWS, this was a big number that analysts were looking for, and that came in at a growth rate in Q2 of 17.5%, just beating that 17.2%.
Wow, that's not a big beat. They beat it by 0.3. That's not a big beat. I mean, it's not horrible by any sense of the imagination, but that's not what Microsoft did. Microsoft beat it 39 versus 35%. So, I mean, Street's got to figure out now how much they care about that type of a beat.
Estimate there. We've also got a number on revenue for AWS at $30.87 billion, just beating the street at $30.8 billion. And really, that is the big number that we look at. We see it how AWS is stacking up against rivals Azure and Google Cloud. Azure really posting a blockbuster quarter for Q2. So we're going to keep unpacking these numbers for you, Morgan, and I'll be back to you soon with guidance because those shares little changed, and usually it's that quarterly guidance.
I mean, that's a great earnings. It's just not the type of bar that is going to be lived up to based on what Microsoft did yesterday, which is why the stock is relatively flat. I mean, it's not really tanking, but it is flat. I don't have any other numbers yet. Roku is up 3%. I'll see if I can get their numbers. Apple tends to come out, I think, if I'm not wrong, at like 4:30. So we actually do have some time for Apple. Operating income on Amazon, though, 19.2 billion versus 16.7. 19.2 billion versus 16.7. So that's not too bad either. On Amazon, they beat operating income by $3 billion on expectations. So obviously, the operating margins probably improved. I'll try to pull up the balance sheet in a second as well, and we will see exactly what the operating margins are. Last quarter, it was 12.1%, which was their sixth or fifth quarter in a row of acceleration. This time, we got to see if they can continue to do that going into this quarter. Strategy, Q2 revenue, Microstrategy, 114.5 versus 113. EPS, $32.60 for Microstrategy versus less than 9 cents expected. Street thought they would lose 9 cents. They came in at 32.60. Why is the stock not moving? Because it's not really real. Love MicroStrategy, love Sailor, but I mean, the street's also looking at this like, hey, you guys have Bitcoin. Bitcoin went up. So, that's why your EPS beat. So if anyone was thinking, oh, MicroStrategy is going to go to the moon because the EPS is a 5,000% beat, I mean, the street also understands, hey, wait a second. Like, it's not like they really beat, these aren't realized profits or anything. It's not anything bad. It's just like, I don't know if that headline necessarily changes anything for MicroStrategy. So there you go. MicroStrategy beat by 46,000% on EPS. Stock's not running, because it's hard to run if it's just Bitcoin. Reddit, is that moving? Reddit is up 10%. Reddit's moving. All right, let's see what they said on Reddit. Reddit's got to be something big. 182, now 175. First Solar's also up 3%. Apple's flat. Coinbase tanking. Coinbase, not nice, not pretty. That one's down about 5.1, 352 on Coin. Reddit's green. Let me see if I can get some of these numbers. Reddit likely with a nice guide, which is also probably helping it right here. And that's helping. Let's see if we can pull this up. First Solar, they beat on the top and the bottom. They beat by 19% on EPS, beat by 5% on revenue. Coinbase, before we get into Reddit, that one missed on revenue by 6%. They beat on EPS by 245%. But again, I think they have a little bit of a MicroStrategy in terms of how they beat. 514 versus 149. The stock should be flying on that. But if it's all based on Bitcoin, then maybe the market just doesn't care. So that could be the issue for Coin. Again, Coinbase right here now down 5%. Reddit trying to get those numbers. That is up 17 intraday, and it's up 10% after hours. Street likes it. Now it's up 7%. So that one losing a little bit of steam right here on Reddit. Apple's still not out yet. We'll look at some of these other companies. Roku, that's up 2%. MicroStrategy is up 2%. Reddit, again, is moving. 9% is nothing to be mad about. We're trying to get those exact numbers, and then we'll keep going from there. Reddit, I think the biggest thing for them is their daily active users, which has been doing very well in terms of the advertising space. So that could also be a tailwind for them. Reddit, okay, here you go. Wow, Reddit, that's a big beat. 137% on EPS, 45 cents versus 19 cents, 499 million versus 425. They beat revenue by 17%. Revenue's up 78% year over year. EPS, if there's no weird accounting gimmicks, they beat that by 137%. That is up 850% year over year. 850% year over year. Reddit, I mean, yeah, you do those types of numbers. We'll go deeper into the numbers. That's why the street likes it. Rocket, that's up 6.4%. Rocket Mortgage, I don't see their numbers yet, but apparently the street likes it. Again, that's more of a rate cut proxy. Are we going to get the rate cuts? Hopefully we do. But that one, in regards to mortgages, seems to be going a bit green. Reddit, that's a dude. They beat by 30 cents on EPS, 137%. That, if that's pure execution, then that might be something that the street is happy about. Coinbase second quarter trading volume came in at 237 billion. The street thought it would come in at 252. That could be another reason the stock is down. They missed by 20 billion on trading volumes. That could be hurting it. Rocket EPS 4 cents versus 3 cents expected, beat by 33%. Revenue 1.36 versus 1.27, beat by 7%. So Rocket beating on the top and the bottom. So far, Reddit has had the best actual beat, top and bottom. Rocket, though, not bad. That's up 6%. Enovix, no earnings yet. Reddit's still up 10%. That one leading the way. And then Amazon is now down 3%. Amazon is now down 3%. Roku, 1.1 billion versus 1.07. EPS 7 cents. That came in line. Roku is up 4%. Kathy Wood still owns a lot of this ticker. Reddit seems to be the best one on the day. But other than that, we have to see what we have from some of these other companies. Here is the coverage on Reddit, and then we will keep going from there.
Yeah, an across-the-board beat for Reddit. EPS of 45 cents per share, far ahead of estimates of 19 cents per share, while revenues of 500 million beat estimates of 426 million. That's 17% above consensus. You see shares now up about 10%. Reddit guiding to third quarter revenue and earnings both in a range ahead of the consensus estimate. I just spoke to CEO Steve Huffman, who said they are seeing a strong ad market and also that their advertiser count has increased by more than half in the past year. Now, as for concerns about AI summaries hurting traffic, Huffman said that it was a headwind in the second.
They beat adjusted EBITDA by 35 million. I mean, when you raise adjusted EBITDA for Q3 by 35 million, yeah, Street's going to like it. It makes sense. It makes sense for Reddit to be up 10% right here.
Second quarter, but the impact varies week to week and that they are well positioned because of Reddit's content being so human and so unique. Roku, shifting gears over to Roku, also beating on the top and bottom lines, earnings of 7 cents per share versus the 15-cent per share loss anticipated. You see shares now up 3%, revenues of 1.11 billion ahead of estimates of 1.07 billion. The company also guiding to revenues and earnings for the third quarter ahead of estimates, guiding to revenues 1.21 billion, estimates were 1.17 billion, and guiding to EBITDA of 110 million, which is 3 million ahead of the street account estimates. Also indicating that full year revenue guidance is ahead of estimates. Shares now up nearly 5%.
Roku and Reddit, the street likes it. On Amazon, we got a lot to dig into, but here's the first thing I'll give you guys. Operating margins did go down, folks. It went down from 11.8% to 11.4%. It was accelerating for the past 5 quarters. As you can see, 10.7, well, actually 4 quarters, 9.9, 11.0, 11.3, 11.8. That's a deacceleration. Now, that could be a seasonal thing. That could be a Q2 thing. That's not that big of a deal. But that is something the street looks at a lot because one of the knocks against Amazon is that they don't have good margins outside of AWS. And they've been doing a lot better than that, or a lot better on that over the past couple of years. But that could be one of the reasons why this stock is not moving that heavily. Clorox, by the way, they had earnings. They're up 2%. I believe they beat on the top and the bottom. We'll get their numbers in a second. Paramount, that's flat. Coinbase now, my goodness, 9%. Street doesn't like it. Coinbase to introduce tokenized stocks and prediction markets for U.S. users. Okay, so they are joining the party of prediction markets and tokenized stocks. It is going to be a very competitive market, but the street doesn't seem to care that much about that headline because they missed on revenues. That one's down 8%. Amazon, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, down 2.3%, but it's not a Microsoft Meta type of reaction. Not a Microsoft type of reaction. Clorox, they beat on sales 1.9 versus 1.94 billion. Adjusted EPS, they beat 287 versus 221. So Clorox, household name. This one beat on the top and the bottom. That's not too bad. That's up 3.64%. At one point, Clorox was more expensive than Nvidia. That's how stupid this market got back in April. But it seems like that's not the case anymore. Cloudflare, I don't have their numbers yet, but that's flat. We should be getting their numbers soon on Cloudflare. But that one is still flat right here. Apple, we get at 430. Apple, we get at 430. Hood could be down on Coinbase. Yeah, I mean, they trade not exactly in a similar way, but sometimes Hood right here down 1%. Yeah, that could be, even though Hood's earnings, they crushed, right? So it's like, sometimes you just can't control it based on how the market operates. And Novix right here, don't have numbers on them yet. Coinbase again down 7. Roku's up 6. MicroStrategy's flat. I think a lot of people in the MSTR community thought the EPS beat that MicroStrategy shows would like make the stock market take this thing to the moon. And it's like, you know, the stock market can be irrational, but it's like, they're not going to take it to the moon just because you have a ton of Bitcoin that went up in value, you know, like that's just not. So the stock's not moving, even though they beat EPS by 46,000% because it's not real. It's just Bitcoin. Like those are not real gains because they didn't take profits on them, right? So Lutnick, China trade extension likely, but final decision rests with Trump. Talks ongoing, potential 90-day tariff truce extension being discussed. More likely than not, if they paused it with Mexico today at 90 days, they're likely going to do the same with China. So that's probably going to happen. We just have to be patient on when they officially announce it. Let's get some coverage on Coinbase, and then we'll keep going from there.
1.5% right here in overtime. We've got more earnings to bring you. Coinbase is out, and Tanea McKeel has the numbers for us. Hi.
Hey, Morgan. Yeah, a miss from Coinbase on revenue coming in at $1.5 billion. The street was looking for $1.6 billion, so slightly below. Earnings per share coming in at $5.14. is unclear at the moment, Morgan, if those are comparable to estimates. So we won't be comparing those. Within transaction revenue, total came in at about $764 million. So a slight miss. The street was looking for about $787 million. And then subscription revenue, I think the street was looking for something a little bit brighter, especially in a quarter which was so focused on subs and services versus trading. Revenue coming in at $656 million versus estimates of $706 million. A bright spot being stable coins, of course, just meeting about $333 million, right in line with street estimates, guys.
All right, Tanay McKeel, thank you.
Okay, this is what Coinbase looks like, by the way. We'll go deeper into this, but we have Cloudflare that should be coming up very soon. That's going to be a big one. All right, here you go. Cloudflare beat by 17%, 21 cents versus 18 cents on EPS. Revenues, 512 versus 501. 512 versus 501 beat by 2%. EPS is up 5% year over year. Revenues up 28% year over year. Not horrible numbers for a SaaS company, but it's a SaaS company that trades at a pretty aggressive multiple. Is the street liking it? Cloudflare, let's see. Yeah, 5%. Okay, not bad. You'll take it. If you're a Cloudflare shareholder, you will take it. There you go, up 5%. Up 5%, not too bad. Reddit up 14%. My goodness, Reddit really showing how to do a beat on earnings. And again, for the MicroStrategy thing, the reason I say it's not real, it's not that Bitcoin is not real. It's that the profits are not real. I don't care whatever fancy accounting term you use. Saylor did not sell the Bitcoin. They're not realized profits. They can look like realized profits on the balance sheet, but the stock market's not going to say, wow, you actually made $800 million in profit. You didn't sell the Bitcoin. Or if they sold all their Bitcoin, that would be what, like 30, 40 billion in profits, whatever the number is. Like, they didn't sell it. So whatever accounting trick you want to use is fine from a regulatory perspective. But if you didn't sell them, if that money is not actual real profits, because if Bitcoin collapses tomorrow, guess what? That quote unquote real profit is gone. That's why I think the street's not reacting to MicroStrategy's earnings. Up about 1.53%. Roku right here up 2.5. That's losing its pump. Coinbase still dumping, down 8. And then Amazon, wow, they're taking her down 4%. Yeah, exactly. It's an unrealized gain. They are taking it down 4%. Okay, I know I said Metasoft by accident, but I meant to say Microsoft. There's a lot of words that I'm tripping over right here. But what I meant to say is Amazon is not having a Microsoft or a Meta or a Metasoft type of earnings. They're just not. And that's why that stock is tanking. Stryker, we have those earnings as well. 313 versus 307. They beat by 2%. 602 billion versus 5.93 billion, beat by 2%. EPS is up 11% year over year. Revenue is also up 11% year over year. Saylor did file a $4.2 billion offering to buy more Bitcoin. I think he's doing this through another mechanism on the preferred equities. I could be wrong about that, but it's another way that he's using the leverage of MSTR to be able to gain more leverage to buy Bitcoin. So they'll probably talk a lot more about it on the call today. Amazon right here down 4%. Amazon down 4%. Apple is going to show up soon, but we have about 12 minutes. And so until we do, then we're not going to see. The majority of Google's beating Q1 was due to SpaceX's new valuation. Yeah, that's true. But that's also why the street didn't care that much about it, right? I mean, like, it was exciting to see them beat, but at the end of the day, it was also not something the street took that seriously. And so that's my point. Like, also, you know, Google beating because they have a couple $1 billion worth of SpaceX is different from MicroStrategy trying to say, hey, we beat EPS by 46,000% because we have 40 billion of Bitcoin profits that are not actually profits yet. And Bitcoin is so volatile, whereas SpaceX, I would say, is not as volatile as Bitcoin. That Bitcoin could tank and then those go away. So from an accounting perspective, it makes sense. It's just from a market perception perspective, is the market going to care? And up 2% on a 46,000% EPS beat, the market doesn't care. And I didn't think the market would care, quite frankly. Coinbase right here down about 8%. Apple again up a little bit. And then Amazon down 4%. Amazon down 4%. When is Metasoft IPO? That's a good question. That is a good question. Where is Meta after the bell? Is that one tanking on Amazon? Meta down about a third, giving back a little bit of its 11% move. And then Microsoft still below 4 trillion. That's at 3.97. That's actually up. Interesting that Microsoft's up and Amazon's down. It's almost like the street's thinking, wait a second, Amazon didn't do enough to beat on cloud revenues, maybe Microsoft's taking their lunch. It almost feels like that's kind of the argument that we're getting right here. Let's get a little bit more coverage right here on Amazon, but maybe that's why Microsoft's up after hours.
$48 billion. Other than that, we've got a Q3 revenue guide of 174 to 179.5 billion versus the analyst consensus of 173.1 billion dollars. So that's a beat there. I want to also shift over to the other side of their business, which is the retail side. That's showing strength. We saw 3 key beats. So online sales that came in at 61.48 billion against the street's 58.98 billion dollar estimate. Third-party seller revenue. This is the metric that really offers insight into how outside businesses are performing on the platform. That's a beat, 40.34 billion versus 38.7 billion dollars. One more number I want to bring you guys is North America revenue. Another beat here, 100.06 billion versus the consensus of 97.65 billion dollars. We care about this number because we're talking about net sales from its core US and Canada operations. This really is an indicator of the health of the domestic retail market. Listening to the call to see what color they can give us on CapEx. That is the big number that we are waiting for, guys. We're going to see if they revise up.
We're also pleased to be joined by Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
I think I was muted when I was sorry. I was muted. Sorry. I was saying Trump's live. I was saying I'm working on some more numbers and I will get you guys some more numbers, but here's Trump signing executive orders. Sorry.
Bobby, you do a great job. He's got some big things happening, and he's got some big. And look, you've been reading about her exploits and the job that she's been doing, and we're very proud of her. Council Executive Director Catherine Granito, thank you very much. Thank you. Great job. And several other new members of the council, including JD is here, our fantastic vice president, and Scott Bessent, and we're making a lot of deals. We're making deals for trillions and trillions. Nobody's ever seen anything quite like it. We just made a couple of others a little while ago. I don't know if you'd be interested right now. I won't even bother telling you. This is about sports and about health. One of the best defensive players ever.
Okay, it's about sports and health. We're going to go away from that. It's not really market stuff. I don't know what the executive orders were about, but given Triple H is there, it's probably not about tariffs or anything that we would care about. Amazon right here down about 3%. If there's any headlines from that, I will get it to you guys. But yeah, that's what we got. In 7 minutes, we get Apple. In 7 minutes, we get Apple. Dude, I had my WWE phase. I had Rey Mysterio, Triple H. I was into all that stuff. And then I, kind of just like grew out of it. But they sell out arenas across the world. It's pretty incredible. There is definitely an audience for WWE. Okay, Amazon. Let's try to dive deeper into these numbers and see what the street is thinking about, and then we'll talk a bit about Apple. So 13% year over year, 168 billion. North America's up 11%. International up 16%. AWS. See, AWS is growing off of a high base, but when Microsoft and Google are growing at 35% plus, it just makes AWS look weak, even though AWS is the leader in the category. So, I mean, like, it's just one of those things, right? It's like, and then you got Bezos selling as much as he is. That never helps. He just sold $5 billion worth of stock, but that could be one of the reasons the stock is down, at least for now. Operating income 19.2. That's up $5 billion quarter over quarter. Net income 18.2. Free cash flow decreased to 18.2 billion for the trailing 12 months. That's probably some of their CapEx that is also causing a decrease. Our conviction that AI will change every customer experience is starting to play out as we've expanded Alexa Plus to millions of customers. Continue to see our shopping agent used by many millions of customers. Launched AI models like Deep Fleet that optimize productivity paths for our 1 million robots. Made it much easier for software developers to write code with Kiro, our new agentic IDE, which is basically their Cursor competitor. Launched Strands to make it easier to build AI agents, and released Bedrock Agent Core to enable agents to be operated securely and scalably. Our AI progress across the board continues to improve our customer experiences, speed of innovation, operational efficiency, and business growth. I'm excited for what lies ahead. Biggest Prime Day ever. Next day delivery. They launched a bunch of stuff. I don't even know what Alexa Plus is, to be honest. Has anyone used that before? I've never used it. But I guess this is enough stuff for them to explain why the quarter was strong when it comes to AD. Was their IDE recently hacked? I don't know. I do know that they recently launched Kiro, which is a competitor to the other AI code agents, but if it was hacked, not the best thing in the world. Figma still up 4% after hours, dude. My goodness. Chat says that was the last thing I worked on before I left Amazon. Yeah, I mean, Amazon, it is one of the most diversified businesses on the planet, which is why whenever I ask people, like, what's your favorite Mac 7? Believe it or not, the answer I get the most is Amazon. More than NVIDIA, more than Tesla, because it's like we know this will be around a decade from now. But they've got some tough comps, and they're already a leader in cloud. So to be able to accelerate like AWS, like Azure and GCP is just a little tough. Especially when Nadella shows you 39% growth and Amazon's at 17, right? It's a bit hard to compete at that from a perception perspective. Amazon right here down about 3.6%, $2.49 trillion market cap. Meta's down 0.5%. And then Microsoft's up, bro. This is a little, it's kind of a little bit of shade the market's throwing at Amazon to give Microsoft a bit more momentum after Amazon's earnings, but take Amazon down. It's quite hilarious to see that. INOD, Innodata, I know a lot of you guys like that one. That's down 7%. Now it's down 4%. Their earnings came in, beat by 54% on EPS, 20 cents versus 13 cents. Revenue, 58 versus 56 million. They beat on revenues as well, but that one is slightly down. Let's get a little bit more coverage on Amazon as well. And then we got Apple in 4 minutes. I'll do a pump or dump in the chat on Apple. But we got Apple in 4 minutes.
Growth. How does AWS's growth and the operating income at 10.2 billion look to you in terms of share and competitiveness with the others?
So AWS has been the leader, as you know. They've been, as the prior speaker said, they've been caught a bit flat-footed on how to take advantage of the AI cloud, AI compute, and AI inferencing theme. I believe they are playing catch-up, and the slight acceleration of a very large base is encouraging, in my opinion. The acceleration from over the last couple of quarters that we are seeing, and we see that to be sustainable. And this is a company that generates, AWS generates more than 30% op margins.
So he's saying that sustainability of the reacceleration of growth is encouraging, which I would agree. It's just not that sexy compared to Microsoft. I mean, that's just like, I think that's just the truth here in terms of how the market's thinking of it. But that's also not Amazon's fault, right? So that's kind of the market being the market versus Amazon not being able to grow, because obviously they're doing phenomenally well when it comes to scaling AWS, at least based on the numbers. Apple right here is pumping a little bit into their earnings in 3 minutes. 65% of you say dump. 65% of you say dump. Coinbase, is that recovering a little? Figma still up after hours, 5%. Coinbase is down 7, but it was down 9. So you do have a little bit of recovery. Open Door is down 3 after hours again. I'm not going to lie. When I got the Open Door down 15% notification today from Robinhood, I was like, all right, at least there's some sanity going on in the world, because Figma is like, I have no shade to the Open Door people. I'm just saying, like, eventually you're going to see a little bit of sanity come back to the market, and that's what we're seeing on Open Door. And so that one is down. And all the D-Nut, the Krispy Kreme, Kohl's, all these companies, American Eagle, I mean, they're all not as pumped up as they were anymore. And that's not crazy when it comes to getting rid of froth in the market. Amazon right here, still down 4. Microsoft's up a little bit. Hoodie's down 1 based on coin. UNH still down after hours. Q's down a little bit more after hours. Grab is up 1% after hours. MicroStrategy up 1%. And then Reddit still up 13% on the day. All right, what do we think? Apple, what do we think? We got 1 minute. Here we go. All eyes on Apple. It's up 1%. This is in my ETF on the stock draft, so I hope it pumps, but I have no clue what to expect. They're going to take $1 billion tariff loss, or $903 million. Street already expects it, so it shouldn't be that surprising. But iPhones, Mac services, that's going to be the question for what we can get from Apple. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Moment of truth. By the way, the June quarter is typically Apple's slowest of the year by sales. So, I mean, the street knows this already, but if you see a bit of a deacceleration just quarter over quarter, that's because that's what happens in the third quarter historically. Okay, Apple's green. Apple's green. 212. 212. Apple, there she goes. 2.6. Can she hold it? That is the question. Can she hold it? Were the expectations low enough, and did Tim Cook deliver? She's moving north. 3%. Can that hold? It's a green apple. That is correct. It is a green apple. Let's see. Okay, they beat by 10% on EPS, 157 versus 143. They beat by 5% on revenue, 94 billion versus 89. Revenue's up 10% year over year. EPS is up 12%. That's not that bad. That is not that bad. I feel like that's better than what we've seen over the past couple quarters. Don't know how the stock's going to react, but that feels actually pretty decent compared to the past few quarters. A beat on the top and the bottom. They beat by 5 billion on revenue. Apple right there up 2%. Maybe not a quarter where it goes to the moon, but maybe also not a quarter where it has to tank. And so you're seeing some of that momentum right there on Apple. Let me get all the specific numbers with iPhone, Mac, services, etc., and pull it up. Here you go. This is Apple, and here is what we got.
Yeah, John, and shares are moving up. It's just a knockout quarter, really blowing away Wall Street's expectations here. Let me give you the numbers. EPS was a beat at $1.57. Street wanted to see $1.43. Revenue also a beat here. Really strong revenue quarter, $94.04 billion. Street wanted to see $89.53 billion. That, by the way, 10% year-over-year growth, and the best quarterly year-over-year growth we've seen at Apple since the December 2021 quarter. iPhone also a beat. You were just
wow. Okay, so when I saw those numbers, subconsciously, I felt like this is one of their best quarters. He just said that was the best quarterly beat since December 2021. I mean, not horrible. Not horrible for Apple.
talking about seeing growth there. That is up 13% to $44.58 billion for iPhone revenue. Street wanted to see $40.22 billion. Services also continuing that growth streak, $27.42 billion compared to the $26.8 billion expected. And China is back to growth, John. It's up 4% for the quarter to $15.37 billion.
Not bad. China's been down for the past couple quarters. China's a big market for them. Whatever Tim Cook had to do to make it work in China, looks like he executed over the past 90 days, and China's back to growth.
We see shares here reacting to this up about 2%. I'll send it back over to you.
All right, thank you. Patrick Moorhead, let me get back to you on this, though I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk to you about as well. This kind of goes against the narrative of China being back to growth because AI is not built into iPhone Siri yet. There's all of this doom and gloom around the stock. It would popped a little bit initially, but it's modestly higher. What's your reaction to these numbers?
I'm very impressed. I didn't expect this. You are seeing, I mean, they have the killer brand in China. That's probably the biggest growth surprise that I'm seeing. I do think the temperament between the US and China cooled off, and then it got really hot, and then it cooled off again. And we're at a period where the nationalistic China buy is still there, but not nearly to the extent that it was in the prior quarter. And I think, for me, it was puts and takes, right? You have the September launch coming up when typically the West pulls back. But then again, you had the fear of tariffs that people were talking about on social media that accelerated that. And it appears that the let's buy quickly based on potential tariffs and price increases overpowered everything else for.
Seems like that's the case. You had some pull forward of demand, which is what really helped Apple on these numbers. By the way, someone bought $3 million worth of Apple calls that were expiring tomorrow. What is their strike on this? What is their strike? 207.5. So at the money calls, someone bought 3 million of it before the bell. And maybe those will be deeply in the money. Someone just filed for a 2x Figma ETF. If we get a 30% crash in the S&P 500, we deserve it too. We deserve it at this point. Like if we do, I want to let everyone know we deserve it. We all deserve it. A 2x Figma ETF the day after it goes public, huh? I don't even want to say we're back. We're back feels like it's not even the right thing to say. It's just like, we're screwed. That might, I'm just kidding. But like, goodness gracious, bro. People are levering up. Apple right here holding 2%. It did pop to 215 at one point, but still holding up. Now, they did miss on a couple of metrics, including iPads and wearables or the watches. Let me just pull this up right here. Apple again still holding up 2%. Mac revenue 8 billion versus 7.2. iPhone 44.8. Whoa. iPhone beat by 4 billion, guys. 44 versus 40. Revenue beat by 5 billion. A lot of that led by the iPhone. iPad missed by $1 billion, a little bit less than $1 billion. And then services beat by $1 billion. Gross margin was up 1% or about 0.7 bips. And then other products revenue 7.4 versus 7.8. Okay, so the big miss was on iPad, but other products was down slightly, which is not that crazy. And no one really cares about the iPad, right? So like if that was the Mac or the iPhone, people would care, but iPad is not that concerning if that's a miss. So there you go. $5 billion revenue beat is no joke, especially for a company that has just been like, the narrative on Apple has been ruined over the past couple of quarters. So there you go. That's the update on Apple. Let's see if we can get some more coverage here and see what else we've got on this one. I'll pull up their IR deck as well. Again, 55% of you still said dump, but that's what we have on Apple. Let's get a bit more coverage here. Figma still up 5% after hours.
We did see some evidence of that idea of the pull forward demand. Tim Cook telling me that actually did happen a little bit. Here's what he said, quote, on the buying ahead relative to worrying about prices on tariffs, we did see some evidence of that in the early part of the quarter. We would estimate it to be about 1 point of the 10 points of company growth. So that top line revenue growth, 1 point of that, Tim Cook attributing to this idea that people were buying forward ahead of those tariff impacts. Also caught up with him about artificial intelligence and the investment we've been seeing from so many of Apple's peers. Just yesterday, Microsoft saying they're going to dump $30 billion into CapEx for AI. He said, Tim Cook telling me, investment's going to be growing. We're significantly increasing. I'm not giving you an exact number today about what that means, but we significantly increased in the June quarter, and we're significantly increasing in the September quarter. He also told me that is both for artificial intelligence talent and, of course, the compute side of things where all the money is really going. And then on M&A, there's a lot of questions about whether Apple needs to sort of acquire itself into this AI moment. Tim Cook telling us that he acquired 7 companies so far this year, not all necessarily artificial intelligence, and also saying none of those have been huge in terms of dollar amount, but we're open to M&A that accelerates our roadmap, and so we're not closing anything off there. And by the way, guys, the call is going to kick off here in about 25 minutes. Cook telling me we'll get some more detail and color, not just on forward guidance, but also the overall tariff impact and how they plan to mitigate that. So more to come here on the call, guys.
Okay. Steve Kovac, thank you. With shares of Apple now up 2%.
All right. Not crazy for Apple. I mean, it's not a big move after the bell, but for people who thought it was really going to tank, it's like it's holding its own. And it hasn't seen the 190s in about 2 months, or below the 190s. I picked it at 198 in my ETF, and since then it's been holding above. Now, obviously, if Tim Cook says some bad stuff on the call, this could tank. So last time Tim Cook revealed that they were going to take $1 billion hit on revenue because of tariffs, which they beat by $5 billion. So, I mean, he kind of made up for it on this. But if he says something like that again for Q3, or if he hints that the pull forward was so strong that we expect Q3 to be weak, that could hurt the stock after hours. Now, granted, Q3 is not holiday season, but it's getting into their next iPhone launch, right, in September. So maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. Reddit, let's try to dive deeper into Reddit. Reddit's up 16%. Street's seeing something in this one. Let's go to their website and see a little deeper in terms of what they put up. Oh, Riot also had earnings. Real quick, let's check Riot. That's a Bitcoin miner. Riot is down 3%. Riot missed on revenue by 5 million. 153 versus 158. All right. That's fine. That's what you got for Riot. Okay, Reddit. DAUs increased to 110 million. Revenues, 78% year over year, 500 million. DAUs up 21%. Gross margin, 90.8%. Net income of 90 million, 18% of revenues. EPS 45 cents. They are profitable. Operating cash flow 111 million. CEO says, Reddit is built for this moment. In a world where connection is increasingly rare, our communities show how valuable human conversation and knowledge really are. We're focused on growing globally, scaling sustainably, and making Reddit the most trusted place on the internet. Free cash flow at 111 million. That is up 84 million year over year. International, these guys did 91 million in revenue. US, they did 409 million. And they are profitable. I mean, not crazy. Third quarter, they expect 545 million. Adjusted EBIT at 195 million. Street thought they would do 160. That's a $35 million beat. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Reddit is an expensive stock, but if it grows, it doesn't matter. Right? Like if they can grow if you're growing 78%, Street's going to pay a premium, and they are paying that premium after the bell today. Reddit right here down 5%, or sorry, Reddit's up 18%. Riot's down 5%. Reddit's almost, I mean, is it going to make a run for 200? It's at 190. It is at 190. My iPad says it's insulted. You don't care. Dude, I have an iPad as well, and I just don't, I use it here and there. This is how you know I don't use this iPad. I got this iPad December 2023. I have the same wallpaper. This is when the stock was 15. Stock's now 158, and we got the same wallpaper, dude. So there you go. This is the wallpaper on my iPad. You see how it's 4% charged? Like I just keep it here. I mean, I use it sometimes to get updates, but yeah, iPad has been one of the most useless products I ever bought. But for other people, they use it. I don't use it. You did like it is. I'm Palantir's in my blood, bro. It is what it is. Like this is my background on the iPad. It is what it is. It is what it is. Those who are around in December 2023 when I bought the iPad, like if you are watching the stream back then, wallpaper is the same. Wallpaper is the same. Amazon right here down 3%. Hoodie down 0.5%. United Health still going down after hours. 249. That's just, it's an ugly day for UNH. And then Figma 123. I don't think my dad sold his position. And if he did, then he booked some profits. Nope, he did not. This guy, bro. Now he's up 1,700. Dude, he's going to come home today and he's going to be like, should I sell? And I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to say it's your decision. And he's not going to sell. As soon as Figma starts tanking, that's when he's going to sell. That's what he does. Once he sees the weakness, he gets out. But he doesn't sell into strength, which, by the way, is not easy to do. It's not easy to sell into strength. It's very hard. Like Peter Thiel knows how to sell into strength. That guy has really made a living off figuring out how to sell into strength, even if he's a bit early. Sometimes it's hard. But for me, I think risk reward, I'm like, dude, if I had 19 shares and I'm up 300%, I sell. I don't care. Let it go to 300 tomorrow. I don't care. Like, but I just don't get why people are paying this much for it. Like, it's a great company, but the multiple that people are paying here is a bit ridiculous. He got 19 shares. Robinhood gave my dad 19. They gave me 1. He got 19. It's a bit aggressive, though. It's a bit aggressive. Is the guy from the chat going to create a painting of carp for your living room? Yes. I have someone who reached out who's going to be creating a painting of carp. I don't know exactly what picture I want him to paint. I'm thinking of which carp picture I want. And so, yeah, in the new apartment, we will have a carp. Maybe we should get a Vlad one too. Just have carp and Vlad. Who knows, dude? We're going to see. I did not sell my share because it's one share and I don't want to be banned from IPOs for the next 60 days. So I'm like, all right, let me just keep the one share. But if I had 19 shares, that's $1,700, bro. $1,700. I don't care how rich you are. That's a lot of money. By the way, Reddit, almost 195. $1,700 is a lot of freaking money. I would take that money and run. Like, I'm taking the 1,700, especially if I got it off of a pump on Figma trading at 70 times sales, which great company, but dude, I mean, the stock is basically where the CEO gets a new compensation package at, and they gave him 10 years to get the stock to these levels. The stock's there on the first day of going public. Like, that scenario just feels like it's going to end badly. But then again, you have Circle, which has held its own. And I think Circle is a bit more important than Figma in terms of the broader crypto landscape. But if Circle can do it, maybe Figma can. Maybe Figma can. Ori, thanks for the super chat. Bottom line, the Mag 7 have delivered outstanding reports so far, and that's important. Yes, the only one that hasn't is Tesla. But obviously Tesla is like a whole different story, right? But it's about 100% agreed. The Max 7, including Apple today, guys, including Apple up 2.3, have delivered phenomenal reports. Amazon as well, even though they're down 3%. Google Google last week crushed it. Microsoft crushed it. Meta crushed it. The only one that sucked was Tesla, but Tesla's valued in a totally different way. So I think that's what matters, the broader market. That is what matters. All right, let's get a little bit more coverage on Apple and see what we got going on. And then we'll keep going from there. Steve should be joining in about 10 minutes, and then we'll get his thoughts on the broader market. I am not streaming the Apple or Amazon call. That starts in 15 minutes. If you want to watch them or listen to them, just type in Apple Q2 earnings on YouTube. You'll find an audio stream pop up. But we are not going to be streaming those calls, and we'll just talk more about other parts of the market.
And Patrick, want to get your response to that, especially perhaps that last comment about being open to more M&A here, and then, of course, investment growing as well.
Well, there's a big gap between not doing anything or not doing much in AI and killing it in AI. And aside from an announcement of an acquisition, which isn't going to happen today, he has to say something. And I do think it is a good sign that at least he said they would be open to acquiring, because Apple gets pegged with not invented here. They know better. They're the smartest people in the room. But even that they're open to having the conversations and saying it publicly, I think is a very good sign. And when it does come to cloud-based AI, they do not have the skill sets to do this currently. They're very good at on-device AI and how to do that. And the trick with the Apple experience is connecting the cloud experience to the phone experience, which I would posit is one of the more difficult things to do in AI at this point.
Finally, Gil Luria, there are moments when we've seen performance mismatches in the computing landscape, whether it's Wintel versus Apple on Motorola and IBM, whether it's Apple not having CD burners at a key time, or even more recently, Apple releasing the M1 chip, which was a lot faster than others. Are we at the point where Apple is facing a performance mismatch on AI that's significant, or should investors take these results to perhaps mean they're not as unpopular as the popular chatter might suggest?
They still have a lot of catch up to do. Some of the AI functionality is working well, email summaries, photo editing. They're starting to show what they can do. But what's really important is the Apple platform is so sticky that they can hold on to consumers while they figure out how to build us a personal assistant. They are uniquely positioned to provide the personal assistant aspect of AI because they have all our information, our calendar, our contacts, our behavior, our correspondence. And so they have time to get it right, not an infinite amount of time, but they have time to get it right, make sure they're taking bits and pieces of other people's models, making sure they're implementing it properly. As Patrick said, it's tricky, but they do have time because they have the sticky consumer.
Okay, Gil Luria, thank you.
All right, let's go back to Trump.
Pilots did with their B-2 bombers, those unbelievable machines. They traveled 36 hours without stop, and they hit every single target. Every bomb hit they went right down the chutes. And then, as you know, we shot 30 rockets from submarines that were hundreds of miles away, and they hit every target. So they can start again, but they haven't been saying the right thing. I will say Iran has not been saying the right thing. They have not been speaking nicely, and they should be. Yeah, please.
President Powell not lowering interest rates again. Many people say that he's playing politics with the futures of millions.
Well, he is. We call him Too Late. He's too late. It's his new nickname. It's Too Late Powell. He's a terrible Federal Reserve Chairman. Not only that, he's building a building. He's at $2.9 billion. It's actually 3.1 if you include other areas that are essentially the same thing. Way over budget, has no idea what he's doing. And I would say he's probably good at that compared to what he does with interest rates. But, you know, we have him there, and it was a mistake. I put him in, and then Biden extended him. And Biden only extended him because he knew I couldn't stand him. And that turned out to be not a good thing for Biden. Although he did lower interest rates just prior to the election. Didn't work out too well for them. But he did lower them.
So Trump said it's a mistake that I got Powell, but the only reason Biden extended him is because he knew I wouldn't like Powell. Okay.
pretty substantially just prior to the election. No, he's a political hack, not very good. He's not a smart guy, Brian.
Mr. President, sports fans have been very supportive. If you go back to the original names of the Cleveland Indians, the Washington Redskins.
Oh, I love that. Love the sound of that.
Well,
I do the Washington Redskins. I think they should do it. I told the mayor and I told people that they should bring back the name. If they bring back the name, you'll have a lot of excitement. And I mean, Cleveland Indians, how about that? That was an original franchise, 1903 or something, 1906, an original, the Cleveland Indians. And what do? They changed the name from Indians. What's wrong with the word Indian? You know who is upset about it? The Indians are upset about it. They're upset about Redskins too. So Redskins, I guess you'd say it was a little bit lesser of a case, but people want to see the Redskins and the Indians want to see the Redskins back. No, I recommend it. I was asked that question the other day. The Washington Redskins, it's a fabled franchise. And now I don't even know what the hell their last name is. What are they to Commanders or something? Is it Commanders? That's not a good name.
President Biden, sir. President Biden, sir. May I ask you a question?
Wait a minute. No, not you. You.
Mr. President, Kamala Harris, as you know, is not running for governor of California. She's not going to do it. What do you see in her political future, sir?
Well, she can't speak. She can't talk. She can't do an interview. I thought it was a very strange campaign that we had. But, you know, I had two of them. We were up by like this massive number of points on Biden, and they said, let's change to Kamala. Nobody knew who Kamala was. Nobody knew her last name, Harris. They said, we're going to get Vice President Harris. Everyone said, who the hell is Harris? They only knew her by the first name. But no, I thought she was a terrible candidate. Look, don't forget, she didn't really get the nomination. I mean, that whole nomination was strange. She was the first one out. You know, she took a good amount of points with her when she announced, but nobody knew her. And once they got to know her, she dropped out very shortly after she started. And she started with a pretty good, you know, she was like in second or third place. But I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't call her a skilled politician. Would you?
Figma's up 9% after hours, 126 on Figma.
She's also coming out with a book. Any plans to buy it?
I don't know. I think I'm going to buy it. I'd love to see it. No. I'd find it. Look, I find everything in politics interesting. I sort of enjoy politics. She wasn't a skilled person. You know, you have skilled politicians, really skilled politicians, and then you have some that aren't. And she was put in a very tough position, I think. She did have a 6-week honeymoon. They were told me, the pros said, you know what, she's going to have a 6-week. And she did. She was like untouchable in terms of everybody thought great. But she didn't do any interviews or anything, which was strange. Not even friendly interviews with friendly reporters like her right there, really friendly reporter. And you know what happened? People said, what's wrong with her? Why isn't she doing? She made a mistake. She should have done interviews. She didn't run a great campaign, but we beat Biden, and then we had to beat, nobody's beaten two. I had to beat two. That's like Dana White, the great Dana White has a fight, and he has a fighter that's getting the hell knocked out of him. They say, well, let's take him out and put somebody else in. Didn't seem fair to me. It's disgusting what they're doing. I think it's disgusting. This is Biden's war. It's not my war. But I said, if I get in, I'll try and get the thing stopped. But I think what Russia's doing is very sad. A lot of Russia.
All right, so I don't think we're getting any super major market-related questions, but nonetheless, that's what you got from Trump. Amazon right here down about 2%. Figma up 9% after hours, folks. Grabby grab, of course. Why not? Why not grab going up 2%? Of course, grab up 4% after hours. Why not? 509, of course. Why not? Why not? 5% little move on grabby grab. Because after hours, it loves to do its thing. There's probably no news on Grab. It's just being Grab, as it always is. I did buy 1,000 shares today at 488, so I did buy the dip. And Grab is being Grab. Palantir right here down a little bit after hours. Tessie down a little bit. Amazon down 2. I'll check if there's news on Grab, but I doubt it. It's just after hours stuff that's happening. Let's get a little bit of coverage on Figma to show you guys. This was one of the earliest VCs, Andrew Reed, who actually invested in Figma at their seed stage when they were a startup. And this is a clip of him talking about the company and why they're so special. I actually got a chance to talk to this guy when I was in California. He's one of the lead VCs at Sequoia. And so here's why he's saying Figma is a special company.
This is one of the experiences I've had with Figma, dating back to when we first invested 7 years ago, was it's a company
Overnight
that
success.
Overnight success.
Yes, exactly.
It's a company that's always had extraordinary attention to detail.
Yeah.
And
He was also one of the earliest investors in Robinhood on their Series A. So this is one of the guys that led the original Robinhood investment from Sequoia, I think back in 2013, 2014.
And it shows up when you do an all hands at their office. And
The
way they do
S1?
the board slides, the S1, config the conference.
Yeah.
And how they applied that attention to detail to the NYSE is incredible, because there's applying the attention to detail and then realizing all the things you can do in terms of the signs on the ground and the party outside. They just did an unbelievable
They
job.
have to be doing things that haven't been done before.
Yeah, I mean, I think the takeover outside was like breathtaking, and I'm obviously very biased because people look like very excited. But it's like
Did you see the roadshow? Did you go to any of the roadshow? I heard there was like a long product demo there, which is kind of uncommon.
So I think it's true for many CEOs, but especially for Dylan. Like Dylan cares a lot about the product, and it's important that everybody who is considering investing in the company really knows what Figma, not just what Figma stands for in design and creativity and all the things you see, but really how the product works. And it was not a 5-minute flyby, look at the cool, shiny features. The product demo was, they were in the weeds. It was, I in fact uncovered parts of the product I didn't know existed. But it was good. I think it's important.
That's the one thing about Figma. I will say there's a founder-led CEO, and Dylan Fields, for anyone who's researched him, he's a hell of a founder. So you do have a really good product-focused founder at the head of the company, and the market is giving it a pretty incredible premium. MicroStrategy right here up about 1%. S&P basically flat after hours, and then the Googs, that's down a little bit as well. Oh, today is Thursday. Money market funds. That's correct. We do get money market funds updates. By the way, USAR, I believe June said in the chat, is pumping on Trump's rare earth announcement. That's up 3%. MP, is that up at all after hours? MP is flat, down a little bit after hours. Money market funds is a nothing burger. It is a nothing burger. Increased by 1.52 billion. 7.08 trillion still on the sidelines. So this week, really nothing. Got a lot of people on vacation, not really allocating that much capital. So 1.52 billion increase for money market funds. Right. So that is what we got. Again, on MicroStrategy, they had a massive beat on EPS, but the street just doesn't care that much, at least not right now. I don't know what big announcement he's going to make on earnings, but Saylor said this is going to be the most important earnings like in the history of the company. So we'll see what he has to say. They did announce a $4.2 billion offering, so they are going to buy more Bitcoin. But we're going to get more updates later in terms of what they're saying. Oh, take a look at this. For all the people that hate quantum, this is what your boy Nadella from Microsoft said yesterday about quantum.
Makes it one of the largest and most successful migrations in business history. The next big accelerator in the cloud will be quantum, and I'm excited about our progress. In fact, earlier this month, we announced the world's first operational deployment of a level 2 quantum computer in partnership with Atom Computing. This is how we will continue to think and make investments with decade-long arcs while making progress every quarter.
So you got one of the second most largest companies on the planet, CEO, saying quantum's real and take it seriously. And that's why it's getting some momentum. Here are all the price targets on Meta. Bank of America, 775 to 900. Morgan Stanley, 750 to 850. Citi, 803 to 915. Wedbush, 750 to 920. Wells Fargo, 783 to 811. Stifel, 845 to 900. JPM, 750 to 900. Raymond James, 750 to 900. Benchmark, 800 to 890. Bernstein, 900. Truist, 880. Guggenheim, 875. KeyBank, 905. Oppenheimer, 870. I mean, just across the board, there's another 7 of them that just raised the price targets on Meta. And as a result, potentially, of all those price target raises, someone bought about, well, not someone, but in blocks, about 30 million of calls on Meta for September, October, and November, or for August, September, and October for 750 strikes, and some of them at 820 strikes. And they paid above the ask, meaning they were willing to pay whatever price was necessary to get those calls. So people are pretty bullish on Meta. And the fact that they have some expirations going into August 15th, it's like some people are basically thinking, hey, maybe the seasonal weakness in August is not going to be that big of a deal, especially based on Meta earnings. Maybe it's going to affect some companies, other companies it's not going to affect. Maybe it's like sort of that stock pickers market of some companies that get hit versus that survive. But if the S&P does fall 4 or 5%, I think everything, including Meta, is going to get hit. It's just the question of, do we have that seasonal weakness? And if we don't, then we don't. But if we do, I think we just got to be ready for it, because the earnings that we got from Meta and Microsoft were absolutely phenomenal. And it shows that this market is not going anywhere. And someone who can help break down why this market is not going anywhere. We are not listening to the Amazon call. You can type in Amazon call on YouTube and listen to it. Quite frankly, it's just really boring. We've done it many times. Amazon, Apple, those calls are not that exciting. So if you want to listen to it, you can leave and listen to the call. But we need someone on the show to break down what's going on in the global capital equity markets and the macroeconomic environment. Someone who bought Meta at the IPO and has been saying on my channel, I think for almost a year now, Meta to 1,000. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get his take on what Zucks did yesterday and why the stock is up $200 billion today, Mr. Stephen Fiorillo.
So we're not saying Meta to 1,000 anymore.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready?
Don't say 2,000. It could be normal. 1,500. That's fine. Like 50.
I wasn't going to say 2,000.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say Meta to 1,200.
Okay, that's reasonable. I agree.
And how about this? Meta's the king of AI. How about that?
That's a hell of a take.
The king of AI.
That we got to talk about. We got to talk about that one. Meta right here up 11% on the day. I mean, Steve
of AI.
Just tell me your raw thoughts. I mean, we got a lot to dive into here, but first of all, the chat is very happy you're on today. Everyone wanted your perspectives based on these earnings. Let's start with Meta. Just what was your reaction to those numbers?
Incredible. I mean, look, I'm probably the most bullish person on Meta that you know. I've been advocating for Meta for years and years. They just, and keep in mind, this is a company that does what, almost 200 billion in revenue on a TTM basis.
Yeah.
And they just grew their Q2 revenue by 21.6% year over year. Really think about that. Like, this isn't a company that's doing 700 million or 2 billion. For a company the size of Meta to increase their revenue by that amount is absolutely incredible. And that's what everybody wants, revenue growth, because everybody thinks I'm dumb about liking EPS growth. So Meta on the top line growing over 20% in a quarter is absolutely incredible. And they showcase why they're the king of AI. And Zuck is playing offense like he always does. He's building out the strongest team. And I believe there's more money in consumer AI than business AI. I truly do believe that, because when you take the chips out of it from NVIDIA, do we really think more money is going to be spent by businesses or consumers? I think it's consumers. And when you think about all the AI tools that Meta is going to bring to market through Instagram and Facebook, I don't think anybody can touch them at this point.
Do you think there was any red flag in terms of their guidance, how much they're going to spend on CapEx, talent, or
Zuckerberg could have come out and said, I'm spending 125 billion this year on CapEx, and it wouldn't have mattered. Because do we really care what the numbers look like for the next year when he's got these types of margins? If he says, look, I need to build this out, it's going to be great for long-term shareholders over the next 5 years, I think the market would have accepted it. I mean, this is somebody who continues to increase his CapEx spend, but continues to deliver results. Remember, Reality Labs still loses a tremendous amount of money, and Meta is just crushing it on their net income and EBITDA. The numbers are great.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the numbers after the bell. I could not believe the numbers. Like when you talk about beating Wall Street's expectations, when you talk about getting a stock to run, you've got to beat the street. You got to beat it, and boy, did they beat it.
He beats it every time, and by a large portion. This time he just did in style.
Yeah.
Like he didn't come out in a freaking Mercedes. He came out in a Rolls-Royce limo this quarter. This was an A-plus quarter, and it's more what he said on the conference call, and I took some notes. To me, the fact that they're going to continue the Ray-Ban glasses, but they're also going to put the AI in Oakley glasses signals to me that they are going to have the closest product to an AI assistant on your face. This is going to be, all the kids are going to be wearing it for sports to showcase moves and all this stuff, but they're truly, through the information that they have through Facebook and Instagram, you watch them turn this into that eyeball from the Terminator, which I originally thought Google Glass would be, but it never came to fruition. I think Meta gets there first.
Well, Zucks did say in his post yesterday that there's like 5 new areas where they think they can capitalize on. Glasses was a big one.
AI-powered recommendation models, Meta AI, the glasses, AI devices was his 5th opportunity. And for him to be so hell-bent on this is because he's had to pay a vig to Apple and Alphabet for so long. He's not making that mistake twice. He's not just going to own the ecosystem. He's going to own the hardware.
Also, they're monetizing Threads. I mean, we don't talk about Threads a lot, but like, imagine they say, well, Threads is doing $1 billion of revenue for us every quarter. I mean, like, come on, bro. That would be insane if this little Twitter competitor, they just juiced it up so much that it's now giving them $1 billion. What type of yogurt are you drinking?
Blueberry pomegranate.
Blueberry pomegranate. There you go.
It's the best flavor.
It's the best flavor. Tony, thank you for the $20 super chat. Appreciate it. Oh, thank you for the $100 super chat. In Sailor, we trust one chair. Thank you again. Microstrategy will have their earnings coming up on that call in probably, well, right now. I think they're having the call. And then Steve's Milk Delivery Man, thank you for the $2 super chat as well.
Somebody? I'm sorry.
Dude,
I pulled a muscle in my back and it's freaking killing me.
There have been people that have made YouTube channels and they send a super chat and then I have to read the name of the super chat based on it's hilarious. People.
That's incredible. So I do not know what Amazon or Apple did. I'm going to look right now and give you a raw reaction because I have no idea what anything did. I've been slammed all day.
Okay, let's do it. Apple, there's
Apple's up, I guess. All right, so they beat by 14 cents. Look at the revenue. The Apple's revenue beat by $5 billion because it goes to the Apple Store every other week.
No, honestly, I do, but that was also my reaction, dude. I think Tim Cook crushed it. I think China reaccelerated, EPS beat, gross margins are up. The only thing that missed was iPad, and they beat by $5 billion. Like, that was a good quarter.
It's a big crush.
$5 billion, or you can, and they had $1 billion tariff issue this quarter.
That's a big beat.
I mean, that's
all right. Let's look at Amazon. Hold on.
Amazon was good, but it just wasn't enough.
Oh, okay. I'm about to go on a freaking tirade. So they're down 2.5%. Oh, and Amazon crushed earnings and they're down.
Yeah, pretty much.
I cannot stand this because there's no way the earnings call is over and there's no way anybody went through the information yet. It's just ridiculous. I mean, the fact that Amazon beat by $5.5 billion on the top line and beat by 35 cents on the bottom line, which is probably like 28%, just doing some quick math, it's insane that this is selling off.
Well, here's the thing. Guess what stock is up after hours?
No idea.
Microsoft.
Yeah, they should be. They're over. Microsoft is arguably the best company in the market.
But we'll talk about Microsoft in a second, but I think the markets like Amazon, AWS didn't beat enough. Azure did. We're going to buy more Microsoft, sell Amazon. I think that's the argument.
So dumb.
It's a dumb argument, 100%.
So dumb.
Okay, Microsoft. Really? Best stock in the market?
AWS only increased 17.5% year over year. Oh, only.
Yeah.
Only. It's doing $31 billion in revenue a freaking quarter now. Like,
no, but when Azure does 39% growth, I mean, whether it's fair or not, the street, they're gonna have high expectations. It's not Amazon's fault by any sense.
Good. I hope Amazon freaking goes back to 175 so I can buy a bunch more.
I would not.
It's not going to.
It's not going to, but I would not be upset at that.
I wouldn't be upset about that.
Microsoft. Why is this the best stock in the market?
I didn't say best stock. I said it's the best company in the market.
Why?
Two different things. Look, Microsoft is ingrained in everything that we do and everything businesses do. So on the business side, Azure, huge. SharePoint environment, huge. Microsoft Office Suite, huge. I mean, those are the building blocks for any corporation at this point. And it is just incredible what they've done. And then you have everything else that they do, from Xbox to LinkedIn to, I mean, they own Activision Blizzard. There's so many things that they do. They're getting Dynamics off the ground. They are just the business operating system, and you can't get away from them.
So, do you think they were justified going up 400 billion in market cap on these earnings?
I wouldn't have been upset if they went up more.
Would you be a buyer here?
I mean, it's tough because if you're going to buy Microsoft here, that means that you can't buy something else. So the question is, do you think Microsoft goes to 1,100 in the next 5 years? Do we think Microsoft can double in the next 5 years? Or allocating money to an S&P index fund can double? Or buying Alphabet at a depressed valuation, can that double? Microsoft may not be a horrible buy here, even at all-time highs.
Okay, so let me do a poll right here. Next, we're gonna do decade. Microsoft or Google, guys. Next decade.
I mean, as much as I love everything about Alphabet, it's hard not to say Microsoft.
Are you just being prisoner of the moment? I mean, you were really happy about Google last week. We spent hours talking about it.
Alphabet's earnings were phenomenal, but Microsoft's a different beast. Look, nobody really uses Sheets or anything like that.
What?
Stop it.
What do you mean stop? Everyone uses Google Sheets and Google Docs. What are you saying?
No business uses that.
No, dude, I think you're wrong. I think a lot of businesses.
Trust me, I'm not wrong.
A lot of investment banks use Excel and all that stuff, but like, I disagree.
Dude, nobody's used.
My mom works at a school. She's not a business, but her entire school is opera on G Suite, not on Excel.
Really?
Yeah.
There's not a single company that I know of that sends me anything other than PDFs, Excel files, or Word docs. I have never seen a Google Doc come over for a contract that I have to read, ever.
Okay, so there's some tech employees I see in the chat that say all of tech uses G Suite, but then there's a lot of people agreeing with you that Steve is right. So
little tech companies may be using G Suite because it's free and it's good, and they're able to get away with it. Big corporations are not using G Suite.
Okay, so you would pick Microsoft over Google because Sheets, Excel is better than Sheets?
No, it's a business environment you can't get away from. You can't get away from Windows. You can't get away from Office. You can't get away from Azure. You just can't get away from their environment. And I think it's just very sticky.
Okay, let me do a poll. Let's see. By the way, 54% of everyone said they'd pick Google over Microsoft.
Yeah, I mean, look, Alphabet could obviously outperform them. I just think Microsoft's environment's a little bit more sticky.
Well, no, the question is, do more businesses use Excel or Sheets? You're going to be right, but that's not my point. You said, what was your claim? Your claim that caused me to react? You said people don't use Sheets?
People aren't using Sheets and Word doc from freaking Alphabet versus Microsoft.
I'll just say, do people in business use Sheets? I mean, you're probably right.
I've never seen it. I do business with a lot of companies. I've never seen it.
Ooh, Tim Cook. Apple's open to AI-focused acquisitions to accelerate.
Thank the good Lord. Thank the good Lord. They're going to spend some money and buy Perplexity. Thank the good Lord.
They're not buying Perplexity. I think they're going to buy. You know what they should buy? I don't think you've heard of this one. Put in the chat what you think Apple should buy. I heard this take. It's not an original take. I heard it yesterday. Apple should cough up $250 billion and buy Anthropic.
Shouldn't
buy the whole damn thing.
Anthropic like 2 years ago.
They should have bought it 2 years ago. By the way, speaking of Anthropic, you know who had a massive stake in the company that sold way too early? Like way too early? This one is a tough one for him, but it was a bit too early. They got in when Anthropic was 880. They sold it for $884 million. They were in one of the earliest rounds. Sam Bankman-Fried would be worth $13.6 billion on their 8% stake on Anthropic.
Oh, he would have been able to repay everything and make everything go into the table.
Yes, basically.
Do you have a Microsoft Office account?
You know, it's funny you bring it up. I got charged on my credit card the other day for it, even though I never use it. So I have to cancel it, and I've yet to cancel
you have
it.
it.
But, well, I pay for it, but I don't.
Technically, you have it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right.
I mean, you're not wrong on that. Okay, so what? Do you think Apple Perplexity, that's the answer? Or how do you think they navigate the AI?
I don't know what the answer is, but they got to do something.
They have to do something. That is correct. I agree. Someone says Salesforce. Does Salesforce use Google Sheets?
I wouldn't be surprised if Salesforce uses their products for something because, I mean, they purchase Slack, but I've seen agreements from them. I don't remember. I don't think it's a Google Doc, and I can tell you. Hold on.
Salesforce is a big company using.
They may internally.
Someone says United Health uses Sheets.
All right, come on. I'm not going to believe that. They're just trolling now. I refuse to believe that.
You got to talk about UNH as well. We got a quote from Jassy on the call. No sign of diminishing demand or meaningful price appreciation in H1. AWS facing more demand than current supply capacity. That's bullish. That's to be bullish. NVIDIA.
So, hold on.
NVIDIA's not moving off that, but that's bullish. We got a little bit of a green candle from that statement. It's basically what Nadella said yesterday.
All right, so I don't know because everything that they've sent me is freaking PDFs. So I don't know.
60% of everyone said most people in business don't use Sheets. So
yeah, everything that comes to me is in the Microsoft environment unless it's a PDF.
Okay, so do you know about a company that went public today?
Yeah, Figma or Fig something, Fig Newton. I don't know.
Dude, that's an admit type of joke. I'm surprised I didn't make that type of joke. I should have said Fig Newton. I should have done that. Do you know what the stock price is right now?
No idea.
They are up 300%.
Good for them.
The stock is at $128. It's trading at 70 times sales.
Good for them. I'm sending you something. I want to finish on this, but I'm sending it to you so we don't forget.
Figma's up another 20%, or sorry, 12% after hours, guys.
Good for them.
That's pretty incredible.
Good role models. Figma.
You want me to play this?
We'll close out with this.
Okay.
We'll do a little 5 minutes and we'll close out on this.
Okay, cool. Okay, so broadly speaking, Amazon crushes, Google crushes, Microsoft crushes, Apple crushes, Meta crushes.
I got news for everybody. NVIDIA is going to be over 200 by the end of the summer at this point. Think about all the CapEx that's being spent with them and the reversal on the write-down that they had to take. I mean, their quarter is going to be out of control when we say it.
The only Mac 7 that kind of sucked in terms of earnings was Tessie.
No.
So my question is, do we need to get an August slump?
No, we don't need to get an August slump.
But are you afraid of an August slump?
No.
Why not?
So I'm a long-term investor.
So what is the stock that you would, can you give me a couple stocks and a couple prices on those stocks that you would be like, thank goodness we got the August dump? to buy them again.
If NVIDIA gets back to 150, I'd buy more. I mean, I'd even consider buying more here.
Okay.
I'm so bullish on NVIDIA because we're not seeing a plateau in CapEx growth. So if we're not seeing a plateau in CapEx growth, you have to think that their top and bottom line is just going to keep expanding. So if Amazon was to draw down, I'd be really excited to buy more.
I think 200 to buy on Amazon if it gets there.
I mean, I'd be really excited. Like when I say really excited, if it got back down to 175, 180-ish, I think that would be an incredible buying opportunity. But if Palantir goes to 30, I'll buy more.
Okay. See, this is like we don't.
You opened it up for that.
No, I didn't because you can say you're buying Palantir on a dip, but I expect 120, 130, not 30.
You know who I would buy more of if it got back to like 17, 18?
SoFi.
SoFi.
All right, you haven't been on the show in a couple of days, so let's have the discussion here. Why are you flip-flopping and turning bullish on SoFi now?
All right, so it's not that I was bearish. The whole argument was I was not perceiving it as a tech company. That was the whole thing. I said they're not getting the multiple because the street is viewing them as a financial institution. They put up incredible growth, A+ quarter. Metrics are all going in the right direction. Financial services could be bigger than the loan book in the next 2 quarters from both revenue and contribution profit. But they delivered their first real big bank, even though it was in Argentina, for their banking platform. And Noto said they expect to close 10 deals by Q1 2022, which will be accretive.
2026.
2026, I'm sorry. Q1 2026, which will be accretive. And if one of those is a big financial institution in the US, that could be huge for more deals. And then SoFi will not only be controlling its own destiny with its platform, being able to innovate however it wants to innovate and save 60 to 70 million a year on expenses. They'll also have long-term contracts that are very sticky with price escalators from their competitors. And they'll have a true tech segment that those contracts could be, I mean, look, hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars for contract values. Like these are not going to be small contracts when they come in, if they get contracts from the big financial institutions. So this was really bullish news.
Okay, so how do you feel about the offering then?
I'm fine with it.
Why?
Because there's several levers that they can pull. They can be gearing up for an acquisition. They could be paying debt down off the balance sheet. That's at high rates. I mean, there's several things they can do. So they've done this before, hasn't impacted shareholders. In fact, I'm glad that they issued shares for the Technisys deal instead of going to the debt markets. Noto also has RSUs, so he's not going to screw himself over getting to those prices. And they issued guidance earlier in the morning. So you can't convince me that they just came up with this idea at noon after going on CNBC. Like this had to have been discussed pre-earnings. And if it was discussed pre-earnings, why would you issue guidance at 31 cents for the year if this is going to impact it?
Figma, by the way, guys, now 132. 132. So I agree. I don't think the dilution is that big of a deal. I know people are annoyed by how they did it, but it's really not that serious. Apple up almost 3%.
Oh, SoFi went up today and the market went down.
Yeah. I mean, the market kind of doesn't care anymore about dilution. The broader question here is, what if the tech platform doesn't accelerate, but the overall lending and banking still does? Are you excited about that? Or then does it just become the same?
Kind of not really. I mean, I want the AWS of fintech out of this. Everything else is great and it's powering the company. But at the same time, I think that this could pull a Robinhood if they really expand the tech platform. Without that, I don't see it doing what Robinhood did.
Yeah, because the operating leverage wouldn't be there. You know?
Look, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets to 40 or 50, but getting a lot higher than that, I don't know.
I think that's fair. That is fair. What do you think about a 2x leveraged ETF on Figma being introduced today based on this IPO?
Why not go 4x?
Why not go 40?
I mean, the thing's been out for all 10 minutes and they were having 2x leverage. I mean, if that's not a sign of a top, I don't know what is. Like, come on.
It is a little.
There are things that are feeling a little toppy right now.
Tom Lee's live. You want to listen to him? You want to get his thoughts?
Sure.
Let's listen to our boy Tom Lee, get some take from him, and then we'll keep going from there. I agree with you. I mean, it's a bit aggressive, and I don't understand why. But I think people are bored. And if they continue to be bored, they might allocate into some of these names. Here's Tom Lee, folks, on CNBC this morning.
Okay, but you to get the broader point I'm making.
Yes, I do.
You take a lot of, I will say, it's a family network, doo-doo for being bullish all the time. But you've been.
Hold on, I got to stop it. I think we got to pound your press release. I think we got a Palantir press release. It's your favorite company, Steve, that you're ready to buy the dip on. What do we got? Is this a new Army contract? Hold on. News. Let me see. I think we got something here.
I'm surprised their communications department doesn't run it by you first.
Okay.
Ask if it's okay to put it out. Like, they should be getting your permission before they do a press release.
Goodness gracious, bro. Yeah, there you go. Just coming out. Here we go. U.S. Army awards Palantir new enterprise agreement. We have no other details other than that, folks. I don't see it on their website. U.S. Army Palantir. Let me see if there's anything on a different website. No. No, this is from December. Nothing yet. We don't know how much this costs. Is Palantir moving? See, you said it was going to 30, and then this is what happens. That's why you don't talk shit about Palantir. I mean, they'll hit you with the Army contract as soon as you do. There you go.
They'll hit you with something.
They'll hit you with something. Palantir. All right, guys, we'll go back to Tom Lee. I'll try to get some more details. I don't have them yet, and then we'll see what this contract looks like.
Right. Like when you've been bullish and held strong and held fast when others were cutting their S&P forecast, people gave you grief. You've been right. Do you worry? Is there any part of Tom Lee that worries at all, not the drummer, that worries at all that things are getting a little frothy?
Brian, we've seen markets get frothy and correct. I've been covering markets for 35 years. So, I went through 99. We went through 2019 and 2022 and the 2021 top that was painful into 2022. And I'd say that signs of a top are really reckless use of borrowing at a time when cycle indicators are at a top. One thing to be mindful of in 2025 is that the ISM manufacturing hasn't stayed above 50 for 29 months. That's the longest stretch in history. So we know businesses have been ultra cautious. Despite what people say is froth, I mean, maybe the Robinhood community is quite enthusiastic, but in a general sense, because Fundstrat has 10,000 RIA clients and over 400 hedge funds, our community of clients is not that enthusiastic. I think it really does sync up with the $7 trillion of cash that you see. People are cautious, and when people are cautious at the top, as you know, that's not bell ringing. That's generally more mid-cycle.
Yeah, I'm gonna give another stat here.
Reason why Apple's getting some love just now. Apple expects September quarter revenue to grow mid to high single digits year over year. Services growth in line with June. Gross margin seen at 47%, including the $1 billion tariff costs. OpEx guided to 15.6 versus 15.8. Looks like the street likes it. Apple 215. So the guidance they're giving right here, street's not that upset. There you go. That's why Apple's green.
Here from I don't
You're right. Apples are green.
stat.
Apples are green. That is correct.
Oh, do you
So
know
I've
who
given him-
Tommy Lee is, Amit?
Hey, he's the drummer.
Thank God.
The only reason I know that though is because Tom Lee's name in his Twitter is Tom Lee (parentheses not the drummer), so that's how I know that.
Do you know what band he was the drummer from?
No. You know what I found out about today? Have you seen this movie, Father of the Bride?
With Steve Martin? Yeah.
Well, I found out today that this is a movie. So
The fact that you don't know that Tom Lee is the drummer for Motley Crue is crazy. You've never listened to anything from Motley Crue?
The Motley Fool, the website about stocks?
No, Motley Crue.
No. No.
What is? I don't even understand this.
Why is there U spelled the way? What is this? No, I don't know these.
I do not understand this.
No, I listen to Tom Lee, the investor. I don't listen to the drummer. I don't know, dude.
Dr. Feelgood. You've never heard Dr. Feelgood before?
No. But I want to watch Father of the Bride because apparently everyone loves that movie. So, all right, back to Tom Lee.
Credit my friend and colleague Max Myers says that Meta and Microsoft now have the combined market cap of the entire Tokyo Stock Exchange. Every company in Japan, the world's fourth or fifth biggest economy, every company combined is now the same size as just two American companies. Does that kind of stuff worry you, Tom? Or are we that much better? Is our system better? Are companies better? We deserve that.
Well, I like Max's stats, but one thing Max should keep in mind is that if you look at earnings growth since 2019 to now, the US has left every other country in the dust. India is the second closest, but almost 20 percentage points behind. Of the top 25 most profitable companies in the world today, 21 are US companies. So there's a reason Microsoft and Meta dwarf other countries. They're leaders in innovation. And if we look at what really is the juggernaut of the US economy, it's technology and spearheaded by AI and now digital assets. But it's also financial innovation, and that's Jamie at the helm there. The leadership of these two sort of things driving the US economy are kind of unassailable. So in my opinion, I think it's justified that these are the largest companies in the world.
Not 110, 212% above its IPO price of 33.
Amazing.
You heard Craig earlier, and we're all getting to, we've all been around the block a few times, Tom. We see that Craig was clearly nervous, right? He was
We'll get back to that and see what Tom Lee said about Figma. It looks like Amazon is taking a little bit of a dump, Steve. And that one's getting it. So Apple's at 214. Amazon, oh my, 7%.
What's wrong with these people?
No, they must have said something. If costs rise over time, it's unclear who will ultimately absorb them.
Oh, yeah. Like nobody's going to freaking stop using Prime. Stop it.
It's not about that, though. It's just about the idea that prices go up on consumers.
Yeah, prices go up every year.
Steve, you're missing if there's a radically stronger increase of pricing, that's going to hurt their margins. That's what the street's reacting to.
Everybody's going to feel it. Not just Amazon. Everybody's going to feel it.
Of course. But dude, 7% on Amazon, that hasn't happened in a while. It's getting a little recovery at 216, folks. Back to 221. There might be some other quotes that's affecting them, but that is the issue. We'll go back to Tom Lee in a bit, but I do want to ask you about JPOW as well, because I think it's relevant with tariffs. You probably didn't listen to the FOMC, but he was pretty hawkish. And the way to validate for that to you, based on just trusting my qualitative analysis, is that Fed probabilities went from 60% to 35% for a September cut.
I saw it.
If we don't get a September cut, what do you think happens?
If we don't get a September cut, we could see a retracement in the market.
Do you think the market can survive without that cut?
Absolutely. We could get a real retracement then.
Real as in what's real? 10%?
10%.
Without the cut, you think 10% we get?
We could.
I mean, that would just that would get rid of most of the gains in the past 2 months.
We could. I mean, look, there's reasons why they need to cut. The two biggest reasons: national debt, so we can slash the amount that we're paying in interest. More importantly, corporate and personal debt. You had people and corporations borrow at very low rates. You have debt terming. You have to have a better environment for them to refinance on. Otherwise, margins are going to compress, and we may see large amounts of layoffs. That's not good. The Fed has to stop doing what they're doing. They need to stop playing with the rates. They shouldn't have even taken rates to where they did. The reason we got into the situation that we're in was outside of their control, but they could have let the free markets fix themselves. They didn't have to go gangbusters. They could have just went to 3% and left it. They didn't have to go this far up. Because what did they do? They destroyed the housing market. And now we're in a situation where businesses really may have to pay up on refinancing, which is not good. I care more about jobs. That's my number one thing. You want a booming economy and more jobs for Americans.
Okay, so what happens if we don't cut?
I think we see a retracement.
I mean, it wouldn't be good. This market is
because, okay, how about this? You didn't cut since January. So now, is it political? Is it because Trump's putting pressure? I mean, they had no problem cutting at the end of last year. Is it because he's calling them out that they're wrong? Maybe, maybe not, but not cutting here is fine. But if they don't cut in September, watch the headlines, watch the news cycle start spitting that narrative.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely political.
What was the reason to cut in November of 2024 versus now?
I mean, there were no tariffs, so inflation was coming down. So
inflation, look where inflation's at right now.
I feel it. Well, that's because of the tariffs. That's Powell's point.
Inflation's under 3%.
Yeah, I get it, but they're expecting it to, I agree with you, but
inflation's under 3%. It's been under 3% for the past year.
No.
We have to stop worrying about this 2% magic number, and that's all it is a magic number that the Fed just made up. Whether it's 2% or 3%, it does not matter. A 1% differential in freaking inflation is not stopping anybody from buying goods.
One sec. Okay. So just confirming this right here. Palantir got a $10 billion deal, but it is for 10 years with the Army. That's what it looks like.
So it's $1 billion of revenue a year?
That's what it seems like. I'm trying to confirm this. But
worth up to $10 billion.
Okay, yes, that's also.
So that can mean that Palantir is one of several contractors, and it can mean several things. Either way, it's very bullish.
Yeah. That's also true. Okay, so yeah, there's some nuance here. I think the market reacting a bit more aggressive on Palantir if it was actually, $1 billion a year.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. The move will consolidate 75 contract vehicles as the Army looks to streamline things. CIO says this has really been our first kind of separate sense to go in and really get a large ELA. This is one of many, but our intent is to continue to move down this path, right? To focus on reducing complexity. The headline is Army plans big shakeup in software buying practices, starting with a new 10 billion enterprise agreement with Palantir. But 10 billion with Palantir, that's a new enterprise agreement with Palantir that the Army announced is just the beginning of a larger push by the service to gain more flexibility and transparency in how it buys software. It's not. I don't think it's $1 billion a year. The stock would be moving up like a lot higher.
Yeah, it could be $10 billion they're allocating to purchasing software, and they're starting with Palantir. And Palantir is one of the companies that they're going to be spending money with.
Agreed.
They could be looking to streamline licenses with Microsoft, get rid of redundancy. There's a lot of things they could be doing.
Oh, yeah, right. This right here. This is a big one. Although Army officials noted they're not committed to spending that much money. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Okay, cool. That's what we got on Palantir. Yeah, so there's the new enterprise agreement. Good stuff. Obviously, it's not literally 10 billion or $1 billion a year, but still very bullish for their overall procurement of software. Okay, so let's say we don't get the rate cut. You think we probably have a market pullback in September. Do you think Trump actually gets rid of Powell if that is the case, or
No, you can't get rid of Powell.
no? But well, we think he can. But what if he
Oh, I
literally?
mean, unless he, unless there's some lawsuits for what he proposed. But look, I don't think they're going to go down that road. You got 8 more months at this point. They're not going to press it. It's bad optics.
Yeah. That is true. I think if we don't get the cut, we're going to have some issues and this bull market gets a real ugly head. And here's the thing. Let's say we don't get a cut. Let's say inflation's sticky. Let's say the market tanks. Figma, by the way, up 16%. They're now 135 after hours. I think Trump's losing the midterms. If the market crashes, inflation's sticky, and rates don't come down on homes and credit cards, etc., we got issues.
Yeah, it's definitely not a good setup for the midterms.
It is not a good setup. Apple CEO says June quarter was first full quarter benefiting from China government subsidies, reallocating staff to prioritize AI feature development. Okay, hopefully they are going to build out some AI features. Apple right here still up 3% after hours. Amazon, I don't know if it was just that Jassy quote about tariffs, but down 6% is ugly.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. They'll be back.
They will be back, but I do wonder if this actually, like, this is not Microsoft Meta. That reaction is not the same.
No.
That reaction is not the same. Okay, so your gut tells you, do we get a cut this year or no?
I'd like to think that we do. It would be very beneficial to the economy if we did. It would be bullish jobs if we did. And ultimately, they have a dual mandate. And here's my thing. If they don't start cutting, they're not acting in the best interest of all of our countrymen, and they're not living up to the dual mandate. Sorry, but that's the truth. You have to create a good business environment. Otherwise, maximum employment does not happen.
Okay, but do you think we get a cut? Not would you like to see, do you think we get it?
Yes, I think we get a cut.
Okay, I think we get the cut too, but now I think Jay Powell's making us really work for it. Figma's about to go to 140, guys. This is becoming stupid now on Figma. Like, he had a compensation plan, the CEO, to get the stock to 140, between 120 and 140 in 10 years to get paid. Stock's at 140 2 hours after the IPO.
Pent up demand, not enough IPOs, and they didn't sell enough shares, which is making it go up.
This is a bit aggressive.
It's very aggressive.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. Figma 137.
Figma.
Amazon tanking 5%, and then Apple up 3%. That's pretty much big tech earnings. I mean, Nvidia's a month away.
Yeah, now we wait for Nvidia.
Now we wait for Nvidia. 67% of you guys say yes, we'll get a rate cut.
I agree with the chat. You need to get a new chair.
Dude, I'm moving out. I already have a new chair. I'm just gonna, when I go to the apartment, then we're gonna. I think is that the same brand as? It might be the same brand as your chair right here from the logo. Oh no, it's not Secret Lab. It's not Secret Lab. It's a different brand. AMD next week. Okay, that's a big one. I know that's a tough one for Steve to always. It's about to go to 139, bro. Steve had AMD a long time ago, but
it is what it is.
It is what it is. You got to move on.
It is what it is.
Bro, did I tell you my dad has 19 shares of Figma because he got allocated from Robinhood?
Nice.
And at 104, I said, hey, it is what it is. Maybe take some profit. He has not sold. He's up freaking $2,000 on these shares. And I don't think he's going to sell. I think he's going to let this roller coaster continue. And there you go. All right. I think that's it.
Yeah, play what I sent you.
Oh, we gotta. Okay, let's end it up.
Can you play it on the computer so everybody can see?
Yeah, it's not like copyrighted, right?
It's on Instagram, so is it?
No, but it's not like music or anything, right?
I don't think it's any music. It's speaking.
Okay. I have no idea what this is about. This is Steve's Instagram. I literally have zero clue. All right, here you go.
This is nuts.
The VIP they started at 9.
My goodness. All the VIPs are already in there. This is just the general public. Oh my goodness. It goes around there.
And today's only Thursday.
This is the first day. Oh man.
Last night was.
Just waiting to get into the national.
Bro, you sports card.
That's not even the weekend.
The card market. Yeah, it's not a milk convention. Maybe that one's even bigger, but goodness.
All I know is the videos that I've been seeing from the national, the corporate pavilions there are so insane. You could not pay me enough to go.
Oh, hopefully we see it on August 15th. Hopefully we get to go together.
Yeah, the one in August is a much better, for me at least. I'm not dealing with the amount. I think they said something like, I don't want to give a bad number. I'm gonna Google it. Hold
on. Yogurt meetup. I'm trying to get Steve to come to Miami, bro. He's not coming to Miami with us. Dude, could you imagine Steve in Miami? That'd be a fun time. That'd be a fun time.
There was over 100,000 people attended. They don't have an exact number. Over 100,000 people attended the National Sports Car Convention.
Well, people like sport cards. I don't get it, but people like it.
It is absolutely crazy.
What do you? I forgot to ask. What do you think about UNH?
I don't know enough about what's going on.
Are you at all throw your hat in the ring, buy some here or no?
No, not yet. It could keep going down. I mean, here's the problem. The numbers in the past are great. Huge cash flow, huge profitability, big dividend, big buyback. Problem that I can't wrap my brain around is, does that continue? I don't know if this is just the start of what's going to be a negative environment for them. And it's not an industry that I follow enough, so I really can't make an accurate prediction on it. So while it could obviously rebound to 400 or 500, it could keep going down to 200. There's too many variables. I'd rather put my money in something like freaking Salesforce that I think can rebound, that I think is underpriced. Like, I think that's easier for me to feel okay about allocating capital. If I had to pick something that's in the dumps, Salesforce over UNH, I would probably be all right with Salesforce.
So you'd buy Salesforce over UNH?
Right now, yeah. I mean, I bought Salesforce the other week.
PayPal, any thoughts on those earnings?
I haven't gone through.
Wow, it's below 70.
I haven't gone through the actual report. I looked at the headline numbers. There's another double beat.
Yeah.
I mean, this CEO needs to take me seriously. Probably has no idea who I am. He's probably never heard what I've said. But for the love of God, issue a 4% dividend. Please. Stop with the buybacks. Nobody freaking cares anymore. They've already bought back 40% of the company or so. Dedicate 50 to 60% of your annualized cash allocation to the dividend. You'll have a 4% dividend or so. It'll be the largest dividend in tech. And you'll open up a whole new freaking group of investors. And you'll actually reward shareholders that have been sticking through this pain. I mean, you can buy back all these shares. Shareholders are not being rewarded right now because the market is not caring about their EPS growing. So pay them a freaking dividend. Wow, you're muted.
Sorry, I did that twice today, actually. It's not good. I did that twice. But I've been good. It's been a couple weeks since I did that. Do you think the dividend would actually excite people, or would they?
It's huge.
But do you think people would think it's a dead company with the dividend?
No. Apple pays a dividend. They've grown dividend for like 12 years.
Yeah. I mean,
Alphabet pays a dividend. Meta pays a dividend. Microsoft pays a dividend. Salesforce pays a dividend. Oracle pays a dividend. Cisco pays a dividend. IBM pays a dividend. At one point, IBM, the dividend was over 5%. And that was the only good thing about the company. And investors were getting rewarded through that dividend and being able to compound it. And then all of a sudden, IBM goes from 120 to 280.
Okay, so then here's the broader question when you think about dividend investing. I've always wondered this as well. By the way, Nvidia, hold on, why is Nvidia down? Why is she down 1.2 after hours? What's happening? My gains, they're turning into pains.
Your paper gains doesn't
My
matter.
paper gains. AMD's also dumping. Wait, what's?
Maybe this is the start. Maybe this is the start of, the August slump.
Dude, this morning when the market dumped in the first 30 minutes, the chat, I mean, the emotions were wild. But then we bottomed at like 10 a.m. and everything started coming back up and it was great. And then by like 12 p.m., it all dumped again. So it's just been a roller coaster today. But it's funny because this is what investors have to go through, right? Like this is what you have to go through to risk your capital and allocate in equities.
Yeah.
I don't see the Nvidia headline, guys. I'm trying to find out. I don't know how Amazon's bearish for Nvidia or any of this CapEx increase or Microsoft. It feels like algos again. I don't see a headline on Nvidia or AMD.
Yeah, it's after hours. Who cares?
I
know you don't like when I say that, but really, who cares? It's after hours.
But my gains.
It's okay. Don't
My
you worry.
gains. They're gone.
Don't you worry.
They were so much higher than before. Did you buy anything today or no?
I didn't buy anything today, but I gotta tell you, I'm really looking at getting a puppy.
A puppy?
Yeah.
Like a dog?
Yeah.
Why?
So I want one.
Where did you get this realization of?
I don't know. Like I saw something came into my Instagram feed the other day.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew.
And then I've been seeing these videos. I'm like, I really should get a puppy.
I knew you were going to say a reel popped up because there would be no other mechanism for you to think I want a puppy.
Right.
I'm not going to lie. I want a puppy too, but I feel like I'm traveling so much that I couldn't take care of it. So.
Yeah. And here's the thing, living in a building, I can't get a big dog because I want a German Shepherd, but I cannot. It would be so cruel and unfair to have one in a building. So can't do that.
I'm going to ask in the chat. I've never asked this question. Do you have a dog? Do you have a doggy? Dude, I would love to get a dog. I know I'm going to be every other weekend. I'm going to be gone. So it's like, how do you take care of it at that point? You know?
I got to tell you,
54% of people have a dog.
If you looked at the dog that I want to get, I think you'd be like, got to get it.
What, German Shepherd, right?
No, I can't. I love German Shepherds. Can't get one in a building. It's just.
So which dog? What's the name of
room
it?
to run.
What type of dog do you
I
want?
want to get a golden doodle.
Oh, I think I've seen this before.
Because they're small, and I mean, look how beautiful that is. But they need room. They need room. Alaskan mom. Oh, I would get a husky so quickly. Look like wolves.
Dude, I've kind of always wanted a pug, too. I always think those are so cute.
Like this would be perfect for a building. Either a golden doodle or a mini golden doodle. I mean, either one would be great for a building.
You're more of I always wanted a golden retriever too. Are you more of a dog guy or a cat guy?
I had a golden retriever. My golden retriever was amazing. It's just not having a backyard to let them run around in. It's very difficult to have a lab or a golden retriever or a German Shepherd. You can't do that.
So you've had a dog before. Okay, so how long has it been since you've had a dog?
Oh, a long time.
Okay.
I grew up with pets.
French
The golden
bulldog.
retrievers are amazing. Could be my favorite dog.
Yeah, I've always wanted one, but I never.
They're phenomenal, but you got to have the room. You can't have a golden retriever in an apartment.
Poodles, Blue Bay Shepherd. I'm more of a dog guy than a cat guy. I really would not want a cat, but I know people like the
cats are fun. I've had cats; they're fun.
Yeah, cats are cool. I just never.
A lot less work.
Yes, a lot less.
Less work.
That is correct.
But I gotta tell you, I started going down the rabbit hole on these freaking dog owners. The amount of freaking followers on Instagram that these dogs have is insane.
Oh, dude, don't.
Like, absolutely insane.
Yeah, it is. It's like in the millions of followers. Millions.
Like, there's this one dog. He's a husky, and the couple has 4 dogs, and I think that they created their whole income stream around their dogs. It's wild.
Yeah, I mean, you can create an entire brand around a dog if you have it, and there's so many. It's not the hardest content because dogs are so cute, and you just record it, and
it's so easy to make content on it. I mean,
dude, what if you get a dog and you stream and you talk about Pokemon and sports betting with the dog with you? Like that would be good. And you have your yogurt. Like that's just the Steve. And then you talk about discounted cash flows at the same time. Like that is your channel.
That's the channel.
There you go.
Give it some crazy name.
Is Figma starting to dump? Let me see. Figgy, it was at 140. Now it's at 135. Okay. Nothing crazy. S&P 630.
Start an only pause account. Oh my God. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
No, but in all seriousness, some of these accounts are so big it's scary.
No, it's really big. People have built entire careers off it. And then you can just sell like dog products, and then it's easy to find an audience. So
yeah, I can't believe it.
Amazon's tanking, guys, because of what Jassy said about tariffs. It seems like maybe that's hurting Nvidia too. But Amazon, wow, 7.3. It got to 215 at one point.
All right, well, if we go to 180, it's a screaming buy.
All right, last question for everybody, then we'll end it out. Is everyone ready mentally for an August dumpy dump? Are we ready to see some of our gains go disappear?
This is why you need income coming in.
That's why you need income, but that's also why you need the mental fortitude to navigate the fact that the market giveth, the market taketh away. Over the long term,
we're getting paid tomorrow.
Who's getting paid tomorrow?
Misty's paying tomorrow.
Dude, the dividend is not that good this time.
What are you talking about?
It's at $1.18.
You realize that most people get like a 3% annualized dividend, right?
I'm just saying.
Right now, the trailing 12 yield.
I got into Misty to get juicy divvies, and it's the lowest one yet.
Are you going to really sit there and say that getting, I don't know, 10% a month is not a juicy dividend? Like, really?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
You just said it. What do you mean you're not saying? You just said it.
I mean, look, Misty's been fine. I don't really care much about it, but
I was thinking about buying more tomorrow.
I don't hate it. It's just MicroStrategy's got to continue to be super volatile, which it should be for it to work. So you have 500 shares like me. It's a small position, right? It's not.
So I split between the NVIDIA one and Misty, but I am thinking about putting a decent amount of capital in.
The only thing I don't like about it is that when they take away the dividend, the underlying share, right, the NAV goes down. So you're down on the shares, and I'm still down all time on the shares.
How can you be? I'm up on both of them. We bought them at the same time.
So my average is 2150.
Hold on.
I think it's 1950 right now.
Let me bring my sheet up.
I think net I'm break even because of the dividend, but I'm also just like, well, if I take that money and I go buy something that I want, and then I write cover calls myself. It's more work, but like maybe I could navigate.
Oh no, you're right. We did buy high. It's the dividend that we're up on.
It's just the dividend that we're up. Now, again, if you're in Misty, the initial thesis for us was to do it for a year, right? So that's why I'm not touching it. It's whatever.
You know what it is? I have it combined. I'm up significantly on NVDY because my purchase price was 1546 and it's at 1740. But I'm down on Misty on just the investment. But I've already generated 11.56% of the initial investment across both from the distributions.
It's not bad.
So
it's not bad.
And the whole idea is inside of a year, you can theoretically have your entire position paid for and then have a free asset generating income.
Yeah. By the way, Figma 142 and Amazon still down 7%. My dad still has not sold. He's gonna run this up to 250, bro. He's gonna run it up.
250, why not 500?
Why not? I mean,
Why not?
Dude, this has to crash, right? Let me do a poll in the chat. This has to crash.
I mean, I didn't think CoreWeave was going to stay where it is.
But CoreWeave did crash from 173. It's at 115. So there was a crash. You know, it's still crazy expensive, but if Figma goes back to 100, dude, if Figma goes from 142 to 100, that's a 42% dip. That's ugly, right?
I mean, but is it, considering that the IPO price is actually 33?
Sorry, that's a 30% dip, I meant to say. But no, but like what I'm saying, if it goes to 100, it's still up 3x. Just like CoreWeave, if it fell to 115, it's still up 3x or 2x or 2.2. But it's not at the insane 180 that CoreWeave was at. Maybe Figma 144 is CoreWeave's 188. I mean, this is what 144 divided by 33. How much is that? That's a 4.5x. Yes, 4.3x. Now, here's the thing, Steve. Tom Lee said on my podcast that the hedge funds were really happy to keep Circle elevated because they missed out so much of the rally that IPO made their clients a lot of money.
Right.
And so they had an incentive to work with each other to make sure the stock stays afloat. I mean, what if there's an incentive by a lot of that? Because that's a real argument. If the hedge funds are working together and the money managers to keep Figma elevated because they missed NVIDIA at 90, but they got their clients Figma at 33. If Figma dumps, their clients are not going to be happy about missing NVIDIA and not taking profits on Figma. But if it goes to 200 and you could justify it, their clients are going to be very happy that they got a 7x.
Oh, can we talk about something before we wrap?
Yeah.
Can we talk about the ARK investment bear case for how many vehicles Tesla produce next year?
Okay.
Wasn't it 10 million vehicles 2026? Wasn't that what they were pushing for their bear case?
They were pushing for 20 million by 2030, which.
But it was 10 million for 2026 is what they were pushing.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. They're doing what, 1.7 this year around?
Yeah, a little bit less than that.
Cool. So we're gonna 4x the amount of freaking vehicles they're gonna produce next year?
Coinbase down 8%. No, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to do that.
I'm just saying, like, I don't understand how they can justify anything they put out when their research is so blatantly wrong.
You know, it's funny. One of the ARK guys reached out to me today. He wants to talk about Robinhood. He's their lead fintech guy. He's like, hey, can we just talk for 20 minutes?
Yeah,
sure.
freaking change the narrative. Start talking about other companies. But the freaking Tesla research that they have put out has been so wrong.
It's been dead wrong. I mean, look, now granted, they bought when no one liked it. So they've been macro right. But on a year-to-year prediction basis, they've been completely wrong.
Forget the price action. Just what they said Tesla's going to do.
Yeah, they've been wrong completely.
I mean, 10 million vehicles, the amount of money generated from robotaxi,
Dude,
everything's wrong.
Kathy said Zoom would go to $1,500 by 2026. For those that didn't look at ARK's research 2-3 years ago, Kathy Wood said her bull case for Zoom video conferencing was $1,500 in 2026. I mean, like, it's hard to take a lot of their research seriously. Some of the stuff I respect. I had this debate with Tanner a while ago. He was like, the problem is their allocation of capital, not their research. I was like, no, they suck at allocating capital and their research sucks. They have the winners, but they have a lot of losers because whoever the hell does research on some of these companies, it's not good research.
And it's fine to get things wrong.
Of course.
Everybody gets things wrong.
But when you're leveraged into Roku and Zoom and they have massively underperformed, like you're managing a lot of money. You like that's.
And they have things that are just don't make sense. But I'm fine with them keeping a huge allocation on Tesla because they're up a ton. And they were very right on it. But it's just the underlying research is so flawed. It just doesn't make sense.
No, I agree. I just, some research is good, but a lot of research. Now, ARC Genomics might have the best research, and that might.
I was just going to say, I almost want to buy ARC-G because I do think gene editing is the future, and I just don't know enough about the industry, except that CRISPR is the only company I know of, so I figured I'd just buy the basket. But you got to think in an AI age that's going to be the next revolution of healthcare.
Yeah, and the CRISPR guy's been buying a lot of his stock insider buys, so that's been helping too. Figma, folks, 142. If anyone's still holding it, I have a share. It's not even worth selling it, but I mean, this has made a lot of people. And I do think maybe there's a world where the money managers want to keep it up and they don't let it fall as easily. And the hedge funds prop it. And if it becomes a Circle, then it's going to be up here for a while. Now, granted, Circle, the difference here is Circle and stablecoins. There's a whole different business model. Figma's a legit SaaS business. Like you actually have to put up, SaaS metrics. And the only company that really gets these types of multiples is Palantir because it's Palantir. Figma, for them to command that type of premium from the market, I don't know if the market's going to give that to them. So
I don't know either.
Yeah, Circle basically has no competition as well. That's true. Figma, dude, Figma is 1/3 of Adobe's market cap right now. Adobe. And then you got Canva coming up soon, which I think actually will be a really good long-term hold. So it's just either this is speculative retail open door people or this is legit Wall Street propping it up.
We'll see.
We will see.
I mean, look, a lot of these IPOs have been hot. CoreWeave and Nimbus doing really good.
You will not get banned for flipping. No, I mean, Robin has different rules, but for me, they say 60 days. So if I had 20 shares, I'd flip it because I'd take the money. But in 60 days, if we got a really good IPO and I want to buy in, then to sell one share, maybe it's not worth it. But yeah, you don't get banned, at least on Robin. You just get a pause for 60 days.
Are we buying more crypto? Are we becoming crypto bros? What are we doing?
I never said I was becoming a crypto bro. You said you were becoming a crypto bro. You've been awfully quiet since crypto's taken.
Buy more Ethereum?
No, you should be buying more of the thing that you can't stop talking about.
What? XRP?
Why are you not buying more XRP? That is the question.
I don't need to. I need
no,
more
it's because you don't actually believe in this pile of shit. That's the difference.
Of course I believe. Do a freaking 5-year chart.
Why would you buy more Ethereum over XRP?
Because I don't have enough Ethereum.
No, Steve, don't even that's not even a good excuse. Like, you don't believe in XRP. You just don't.
I do believe in XRP.
Be honest. No, you don't.
Of course I do. You've been talking about it for 6 years.
It's a lotto ticket for you. That's what it is. That's all it is for you. You don't care about it.
Of course.
It's tanking because of Coinbase now as well. Goodness, bro. I mean, I'm not buying crypto here, but again, if you're long ETH, then yeah.
I mean, why can't Ethereum go to 15 or 20,000?
I think it could. I think it could.
I mean, Bitcoin has no utility. At least ETH has utility.
Yeah, but Bitcoin's finite.
Sure. Finite.
So.
Finite.
All right, folks. I think. Oh yeah, let me show you the laundry robot video. Did you see the laundry robot video?
What laundry robot video?
Okay, so you didn't see the laundry robot video.
Is it from Tesla?
No. Does that make you want to watch it now more? Because it's not from Tesla. It's from Figure. Look at that, bro. This is the future. This is our future, bro.
Okay. Does it put detergent in?
It doesn't. No, it literally just takes it from the basket. I mean, it's very elementary.
So right now, but this is a start. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, agreed. This is a start.
Got to start somewhere.
Got to start somewhere. Let's look at our ETF. Let's do a update on that. Let me pull that up as well. You remember you had HIMS, which was hurting you. Now that's like really helping. Dude, HIMS almost 70. I mean,
HIMS is up?
Okay, so this is how much you don't care about HIMS. Yes, it's up.
No, why would I care about HIMS?
Okay, Matt's up 17.8. Tanner's up 10.1. I'm up 7.8. You're up 3. HIMS is up 10 for you. Broadcom's up. I forgot you had Broadcom 17. Microsoft's up with 12 for you. I forgot you had Meta.
It's my first pick.
You have Meta and Microsoft.
I got 4 in the double digits. Right now, CrowdStrike, Netflix, and freaking Micron are hurting me.
And then Chris is down 2 because UNH and Novo is really hurting him. But yeah, it's Matt, Tanner, Amit, Steve.
The fact that Tanner didn't take SoFi is ridiculous.
We're gonna give him shit for that forever, dude.
Like he took freaking Nubank over SoFi.
Yeah, that was
like, what are we doing here?
We all had one really bad pick. Mine was Duolingo. I think Tanner's was not taking SoFi. Yours was
I don't have anything that's down double digits yet.
Oh wow, Mr. Humble here, huh? You don't have one bad pick.
Micron's the only one that's teetering on double digits at the moment. Mine was a more conservative portfolio than everybody else.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, Chris, I would say is probably Novo. Yours is Micron, and then, but honestly, Dutch Bros is the worst. The fact that Matt's down 17% on Dutch Bros and his portfolio is still up 17% is hilarious, bro.
Yeah, I mean, between Microsoft and Meta, mine can potentially perform in a bad market also. Like if the market goes down, if we get a bad August and September, I don't think my portfolio gets that hurt compared to other people.
I'm nuked if we get a bad, like my shit's gonna be hit. Me, Tanner, and Matt are gonna have really tough portfolios if it gets hit. You and Chris will be a little bit better. Yes, Tanner did want SoFi. He didn't take it.
He did not want SoFi. Stop it. He would have picked it if he wanted it.
No, he wanted to trade at the end for it.
No, what he said was, well, I didn't think anybody was going to pick it, so I was waiting for a different round.
See,
that's not confidence.
I couldn't do that with Palantir. I wasn't going to let any of you screw with me.
Right. You freaking took Palantir because you know what? You love Palantir.
And Uddy. I took Uddy too. I got both of my babies. I got both of them.
Yeah, the fact that he didn't, I'm even questioning his loyalty to SoFi now.
No, you can't say that, okay? You have been Mr. Screw Noto, the blah, blah, blah.
Oh, I never said that.
No, but you've definitely been upset at it. And you're right. You weren't a bear, but you definitely got annoyed for the past couple months.
Yeah, because I didn't like the communication on things.
Yeah, but a good quarter changes everything, right?
Good quarter changes everything, especially when you communicate what I want to hear.
Good quarter does trade everything. That is correct. I think I caught a little bit of you and Tanner on his stream, and yeah, you seem pretty excited about SoFi's future now.
I don't think people understand how big these 10 deals have the potential to be. Now, we don't know who they're with, and we don't know what scale it is. But right now, this is a potential stage. And 10 deals, that's a lot of potential.
When is the next Seeking Alpha article on SoFi?
Came out 2 days ago.
Already?
Yep.
Let me link it. I didn't know. What's your rating upgrade? Is that what you?
Yeah. I'm back to very bullish.
Strong buy.
Anybody who leaves a comment, I will respond.
All right, there you go. Make sure to check that out.
Yeah,
Not
it's
bad.
like if you scroll down, just go to the first three sets of charts that I made and click on them. So start with that one. I mean, look, it's not the same thing as Robinhood, but that's the beginning of an S curve for members.
Yeah.
And it matters what members think. That's the same story with Robinhood. It matters what their members think, not what I think. That tells you a big story. You had a big jump in deposits, which is very strong. But go to the next set. The next set is very important. So the yellow line is financial services. It is on track to do more revenue and contribution profit at some point in 2026 than the lending book. That's incredible because lending has historically carried the company. So I'm getting really excited because now you have two huge vehicles in there. And then if they really do close some big deals on technology, technology can grow exponentially also. So I think that this is a foundation quarter and this is an inflection point.
Yeah. I mean, look, if they get that AWS of fintech tech revenue back, then obviously that is going to be massive. And that was the initial thesis for why people got excited, you know?
Think about how much money. So Citigroup, for instance, because it's only one digit or one numerical character. On their income statement, their general expenses is
real quick while you're pulling that up, guys. For everyone asking about the Palantir deal, so we talked about it already. It's a $10 billion 10-year agreement for Palantir, but it's not $10 billion going direct to them. The Army said it's worth up to $10 billion, and the Army also said they don't have to spend $10 billion. It's rather a reconciliation of how they procure software. Market's not reacting to it because it's not a like literal $10 billion going to Palantir type of a deal, but very bullish for Palantir. They're going to continue doing what they're doing with the Army. It's just more of an expansion of what they've been doing, kind of guaranteed for 10 years. So that's what you got.
So Citigroup is breaking out salaries and employee benefits on a completely separate line. So their general and administrative expenses outside of salaries and benefits is $15 billion a year. If they can grab a company like Citigroup, that could be a huge freaking contract to host and basically power their infrastructure stack.
Yeah. Well, that's also one of the reasons you've been saying it's undervalued for a long time too. Right?
Huge. But they need to deliver.
Yeah.
When does Salesforce report? I know you don't like them.
They usually report with NVIDIA.
Yeah, it's late, isn't it? 8/27. Wow. Long time. I'm going to have to buy some more. What's for dinner tonight? Some more well-done steak, Matt?
Dude, medium well is the future.
The future, you say?
Yeah.
The future. Okay.
Dude, I was telling everyone in the morning, medium well is the answer. Like, I tried medium rare. I tried Steve's suggestion. This is just better. It's just better. It's just better. I'm sorry. It's just
You're killing all the nutrients.
It's just better.
Do a poll. Medium well or medium rare?
You're going to win the stupid poll, but like everyone's wrong. I don't care.
Do a poll.
Everyone's wrong. Medium well or medium rare? That is not medium well. Dude, I asked for medium well. So
yeah, do not say that that's medium. That was not medium.
Dude, that's what I asked for. You're telling me.
No, I'm talking about the chat. There's a lot of gray around those edges. Yeah, I'm interested to see how many people say medium rare. So any big plans for the weekend, Matt?
One sec. Sorry, too many side chicks that are texting me. Anyway, this weekend, no, I'm not
Even more reason you need to take my advice seriously.
Dude, you know what Steve said? Steve said it was the most nonsense thing I heard. He's like, you need to learn how to box. And I'm like, you know, I think it would be great for health and it's just like a cool activity. He's like, because you're going to hit on someone's girl at a bar and it's going to be someone's girlfriend and you're going to get into a fight. And I'm like, In what world was that the reasoning why you told me I need to learn how to box? Like, I have no idea where you thought of that.
Dude, you're moving out on your own. You need to learn how to box.
Yeah, but your logic was you're gonna hit on someone's girl, and then
I'm just trying to make sure that you're going to stay safe. That's all.
I'm like, maybe that's possible, but like I don't know if that's how it would play out. But yeah, no, I'm not doing anything. I'm getting ready for the move. We got a lot of stuff to do on my side, and yeah, we just got to get that ready and done. Are you going anywhere this weekend?
I will be writing all weekend long.
Okay.
I think this weekend's going to be a big weekend for like, I'll probably do my Meta article, my Amazon article, the Apple article this weekend.
Dude, we basically did our Friday market close episode today.
Okay. Oh, your chat's going to get very angry at me. He should not do jiu-jitsu, guys. Absolutely not. Reason being, he's not competing. He's not going into MMA. And the last place you want to be on the ground, last place you want to be at the bar is on the ground. Because if you have to protect yourself, you do not know how many people the other person is with. Last thing.
Yeah, I agree. I do think it would be cool though to learn kickboxing.
I don't have a problem with that.
Do you know how to do kickboxing?
Kickboxing?
Yeah, or karate or anything of that stuff?
No, boxing, wrestling.
MMA, I feel like is scary, bro.
Why?
Like you're just fighting people with your bare hands. It's like
I mean, my thing is you're not competing, so there's no real reason to get into that deep of it. Like if you said, look, you love jiu-jitsu, it's a beautiful sport. Okay, yeah, go compete. Do it and compete.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it. So we basically did our Friday episode, so we're probably not going to do it tomorrow, guys, because we just talked for 2 hours about all the macro stuff. Tomorrow's Friday, August 1st. I mean, who knows if we get a dump or not, but a little bit of a weird way to end out July. I don't think we can complain. Nvidia was at 150 at the start of July. It's at 177, so a little spoiled here, but that's all right. And then we do have earnings next week.
What movie are you going to watch this weekend?
Dude, honestly, I need to watch Father of the Bride at this point.
You do not need to freaking watch Father of the Bride.
There's no other good movies that are out there. That made Steve just cringe so hard.
Oh my god.
Dude, I just, again, when I move out, maybe I'll seriously watch movies, but at this point, I don't care about them.
Okay,
Figma's almost 150, folks.
Game 808. Your chat's getting a blood sport freaking thing going. I love it.
Yeah, they're mad at me.
I love it. Bloodsport's amazing. Braveheart's amazing. Roadhouse is amazing. Love it. Oh, yes. True Romance is a freaking classic.
Yeah. Yeah, I just have so much stuff to finish up, bro, when it comes to the move out. But when I do move out, hopefully it's easier to watch movies. Terminator 2, bro. Terminator 1 sucked. So
Casino Royale is the best James Bond movie. I don't care what anybody says.
everyone does say T2 is better, though.
T2 is a lot better than T1.
If I had 100 shares of Figma at 100, would I sell? Yeah. I mean, that's what I would do. Yeah. If I had it at 100, I'm up $46 a share. I'm taking the 4,600. I'm dipping. But I'm very conservative with this stuff. So maybe it goes to 200 tomorrow. Why would you change when you move out? I just feel like I would have less stress on the actual move out process, which every day there's just more things to pack and do and figure out. And I don't know. I feel like I would double down on trying to learn pop culture at that point. So,
but you're excited for a Creek.
I'm just saying, Dawson's Creek is a good show, dude. So the couple in Dawson's Creek, Steve texted me an Instagram reel of the couple that dated in 1998 when they were on the show and in real life, and then they broke up. and then they went their separate ways. And he showed me an Instagram reel of them holding hands, walking down New York. And I was like, did they get back together 30 years later? But they're filming a new show, which is why they had to like act like a couple. But I'm like, they're both single. They're both divorced. So what if, yes, Pacey and Joey, what if they get back together?
You're a little too excited about that.
Dude, one of the best couples of television history.
A little too excited about that.
I want to see them fall in love again, dude. That's got to happen. It's got to happen.
Just a
All
little
right,
bit.
folks. That's it. I think that's it. Anything else, Steve?
No, Meta at 1200. No longer Meta with
Oh,
down.
people were asking when 1200.
I don't know. End of 2026.
In a year, they're gonna go
Year
up
and a half.
80%? In a year.
It's at freaking 800.
Okay.
It's moving 50. That's a 50%
Sorry,
move.
50%. Yeah, I thought they were at 600 when I was like, okay.
No.
All right. Yeah, I don't think that's crazy as long as it holds up.
Yeah, I mean, look, if the revenue keeps growing the way it's growing, if the net income keeps growing, it'll still have a halfway decent valuation.
Someone said, what's my favorite band? I don't have one, to be honest. I mean, I have one, but if I say it, I'm going to get trolled. So I'm not going to.
Oh, this should be good. Who is it?
I'm not going to say it, bro.
Who is it?
I know. I'm not going to say. I mean, I've embarrassed myself enough.
I mean, you can't do that.
I mean,
you always tell me that I can't do that, so you can't do that.
I mean, there's two candidates that I have.
Okay.
But I'm going to get trolled for either one. So
who
like,
are they? Who are they? Come on.
The Jonas Brothers band
And
One Direction. I'm just saying,
I knew you were going to say One Direction after you said Jonas Brothers.
No, it's not Metallica. It's not Guns N' Roses. It's not.
Don't say Metallica.
Queen. It's not
Do not
Linkin
do that.
Park. Those are not bad bands, bro.
Queen's overrated. Queen is very overrated.
I don't even know what Queen is. Backstreet Boys, they're good, but Jonas Brothers is better. One Direction was legit, bro. I don't care what anyone says. They were freaking legit. Jonas Brothers were also like, have you listened to a Jonas Brothers song?
I couldn't even tell you what they have made.
Listen to I Fell in Love with the Pizza Girl. It's
I
great.
fell in love with the pizza girl.
Yeah, dude. It's the cute. I could play it right here, but the freaking YouTube would copyright. But Fleetwood Mac, I've heard of them because of that TikTok song that went viral. Chasing Dreams or something, whatever it was called. You remember?
Yes, I mean I know who Fleetwood Mac is.
Fleetwood. No, but what was the song that went viral in TikTok?
I know you're talking about
Dreams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Dreams. Yeah. That's why I know about them. But
I mean, the fact that like you didn't even say like Van Halen or Def Leppard or Motley Crue or Guns N' Roses. Appetite for Destruction is arguably the best album ever made.
Oh, Eagles. That's my favorite band.
Why? Hotel California?
Hotel California.
Can you name another song by the Eagles?
That's the best guitar solo of all time. What, you disagree? You think it's not top 5? Get out of here.
No, it's not top 5.
Yes, it is top 5. The Hotel California guitar solo is top 5.
No.
It's at least top 10.
No, probably not.
Yes, it is, dude. Now you're just being.
There's probably at least 5 from Eddie Van Halen that are better. At least minimum. Like, that doesn't live up to Slash or Eddie Van Halen. I mean, we need to get you like really to sit down and listen to some music and watch some movies.
Dude, did you see I was wearing my watch yesterday? I don't know where it is. I took it off.
Because the time is now?
Yeah, dude. I was wearing it. I kind of like it. It's like a nice little conversation starter, having a watch that doesn't work on your hand. You know? I like it. I might end up wearing it, like legit wearing it. So.
What was the poll?
59% say medium rare.
Really? It was that close, huh?
Dude, what was the other hold on. There's Pink Floyd. Have you heard the song Time by Pink Floyd?
Yes.
That song I heard 2 years ago.
A lot of Pink Floyd.
Yeah, that's a great song. That's a great song.
About Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, they have a song called
Like you have to know who Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, I know
They're one of
them.
the greatest bands ever.
I don't know many of their songs, but they had this one song. They sponsored the WWE 2007 SmackDown versus Raw event, and they had the theme song, and that's when I used to watch WWE. And so that's when I learned about the band. What was the song, guys? Like anyone who watched WWE, it was
What, Californication?
I think it was Californication.
I'm just trying to think of what was popular from them, what was new then. It's probably Scar Tissue or Californication.
Yeah, probably one of those. Yeah, that's how I knew about them. Tool, I still haven't listened to Tool yet. I haven't listened to that yet.
Yeah. Red Hot Chili Peppers are incredible.
Yeah.
Or it could have been down in California, yes. Definitely could have been.
All right.
You're right. He was in Anthony Kiedis was in Point Break. Another movie Matt's never seen.
Oh, Nickelback. I know about those guys. Yeah. They're great. It's a good band. See, I don't do it like let's talk philosophers, right? Let's talk Camus, let's talk Friedrich Nietzsche, let's talk Kant. Like we could talk philosophers. You naming all these bands, I can name you some Heidegger. Like let's talk about philosophy.
Heidegger.
See, that's what I'm saying. There's a different level of information in my LLM that I know about versus
In your LLM of a brain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Philosophy, we'll talk all day.
About greatest wrestlers.
I didn't watch wrestling that deeply to care. I had like a 2-year, 3-year phase, but Rey Mysterio I liked a lot. Stone
Like,
Cold.
is the attitude better than the golden era? I don't know.
Aurelius, yeah, there you go. Camus is top tier. That's correct. Socrates, Plato, all that stuff. I don't know that much about. I mean, I know wrestlers, but like John Cena, like all that stuff. But that's what I grew. I didn't grow up with Hulk Hogan and all the other guys in the 90s. But Jeff Hardy, yup. Harden, Jeff Harden, Matt Harden, I think the brothers.
Hardy,
yeah. Sweet Chin Music.
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels. See, there's some of that stuff.
Okay.
I remember.
MMA?
No, I don't know anything about anything.
You don't watch MMA?
I only know what's his name, the Irish guy.
So
wait, what's his name? Hold on. Conor McGregor.
So it's funny because my dad likes boxing, so I try to get him into MMA. It's like, oh, this isn't that bad. And then we were watching the Frank Mir versus Nogueira match when Mir and him rolled and Mir snapped his arm. And that's like, I don't want to watch this anymore. It's hilarious.
Yeah. I never was that deep into MMA, but Conor McGregor was very
I mean, I love boxing, but the problem is that there's too many federations and the best boxers don't box each other. Like at least with mixed martial arts, the best fighters, they fight each other.
Yeah.
Like I just
Oh, I know the Great Khali. Do you know the Great Khali? He was one of the big Indian wrestlers.
Sounds
like 7'5", bro. He was
somewhat familiar.
Yeah, he was a big one. All right, folks. I think that's it. We're out. We got all of Steve's macro thoughts on the broader economy, big tech. They crushed it. TLDR, whatever dip we get in August, it is what it is. It is what it is. And ultimately, we just got to be able to get through it. And maybe we don't get one.
Maybe we don't get one.
Maybe we don't get one. And if not, we keep going. If we do, hopefully we get some good dips that we can buy up as well.
That'd be nice.
All right. That's it for me, folks. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Steve's Twitter and Seeking Alpha in the chat and in the description. See you guys tomorrow on the Market Open. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.